Greetings, family. Welcome to Pan-Africanism towards Nationhood, building a global Black business pipeline. And yes, family, you are back. We are back. The dynamic duo, Bomani, Tyehimba, and Kala Genesis. And we're here to give you another live stream as we push that strong energy of Pan-Africanism and nationhood. Greetings, my brother Kala. How you doing today? How's it going?
I'm doing fine, brother. Doing fine.
You ready? You ready to set? Keep the fire burning.
Oh yeah, you know I am.
There you go, family. Revolutionaries don't retire. We bring that fire. So that's what we're talking about. We have to change the game. I'm always telling people, when they tell me, this is Africa, this is Africa, this is a lot of things in the world. I do remember America. I do remember they had 13 wicked colonies. That was, and even that colonial energy, they literally surpassed their colonial masters and built 50 states of world power.
Yeah.
So over a period of time, I tell people that you can't look at things that things are going to always be the same. Look at the world that we have lived in, evolution of so-called world powers and superpowers. Great nations rise and fall. And this is the the century, the 21st century. Where Africa rise. Where we push Pan-Africanism and nationhood. And I'm telling you, family, the topic that we have tonight, is right on point with it. Now, when we talk about Black Power economics and Pan-Africanism, that's how we get to nation building. You can't tell me that we're gonna build something together, and then when you turn around and you spend all of your money, all of your salary, all your financial resources with white corporations and to do things with other people. That's not gonna happen. If we want this, we have to get into it. And one of the biggest, most important thing that we can always push is supporting Black-owned enterprise, Black business, and working to, establish our own, economic base and build up on the things that that we have in place. So if we're building a small town, we have options. We can call in the corporations, or we can build what we need to build for ourselves. So that's what we're talking about: Black Power economics and Pan-Africanism. And then as far as how we're going to build our cities and expand out and take advantage of rural areas, like you showed me some videos of Liberia, and if that was Jamaica, you see what, like I tell people, look at Jamaica, look at this, how things are set up. You're talking about investors, and you're talking about some of the richest corporations in the world. It won't be too long, when they see certain things, they're going to go after it because they know that there's only so much beach and, lakeside, riverside, proper land that's available to build, whatever they're looking to build, which one of the favorite things that they like to build, I'm talking about big corporations, is resorts. So that's it, family. So it can be simpler, we can make it difficult, but that's what I stress when we write our tour programs as far as Africa for the Africans tours and investment. Just came back from Senegal and Gambia, and not saying that every single place that we lodged at and we ate at was all owned by Black people. In some countries, yes, absolutely, it's like that. In some countries, we do the best we can do and we work things out, because you still have to just make accommodations, and you can't just select places just to select places. But so far, so good with that program, and we've been encouraging other people to do the same. So what I want to do, family, is usual this to share with you our website where all of our documentation is, because when you hear me talk about Africa for the Africans, the Africa Tourism Investment, I always want to let you know that we have this incredible website that we've been running since 2007, literally a few months after we started business in 2006. So we believe in a world of this technology and this full-fledged presentation. So this is our website here. The first thing you'll see is the slideshow, and this represents different pictures, us marketing ourselves, us in different parts of Africa, and that's from 2006 to 2023. And to get a full flow of this, all the photos that we have, when you scroll down, you see a Instagram and you see a Facebook page, and then you can just, get on those networks and have a full access to this, more documentation, because there's only so much we can put on our website as far as media stuff, which is just pictures and videos. As a matter of fact, there's no videos, so what we just have is all the videos on YouTube, and some on Facebook, and some on Instagram, and some on TikTok. But majority of them, 99%, is on YouTube. So we have playlists with a whole lot of videos for whatever tour that we travel to or whatever country that we have traveled in the past. So if you're looking to travel or connect with us, you don't have to wonder what to get or what to expect. We have full documentation as far as full overview, itinerary, and all information that you need to be clear about what you're going to be doing on a journey, what's included, what's not included, what does the flow of the schedule look like, and so on, and the preparation information, the visa details. But the videos itself is just showing the movements that we're doing from the hotel to restaurants to tour sites to us social nightlife, us networking, us meeting some of our people who have repatriated or returned to that country to do business and live. So that is the flow of this, how we have things set up. So as you scroll down to our website, the main thing I'm always telling everyone, you'll just see all of the important information right there on the main menu. It's a long main menu, but I want to showcase the tours where you can actually see them and see the dates. So you'll see the different, you'll see the list of 8 countries that we have. And you can see the time frame that we travel throughout the year. So if you're interested in traveling with us, you can just click on the link, check it out. And then once you check it out, reach out to me. We'll talk, go over information, send you a few emails, and we just get you in one of our groups. And then we just get you prepared, and we just go through all the things that you need to be clear on. The importance of this taking ownership of your plane tickets, your airline reservations, and being clear on your on-ground reservations and on-ground flow. So these are the information that you need, and it's all right here, where it's just one click and then this read. And so for those who don't like to read a lot of information, this is not a lot of information, but if you're going to spend this kind of money, if you're going to take this kind of journey, it's a lot to be prepared and be clear on. And we're specialized in this. This is 19 years of me traveling to Africa nonstop and 17 years of doing these Africa tours program. So that is the flow of it. So we're gonna, we just came back from Senegal and the Gambia, and that was March 30th to April 9th. Now we're gonna head to Ghana for our repatriation investment tour. That's May 24th to June 5th, 2023. And we're gonna connect to Rwanda after that for our Rwanda Roots and Culture Tour, and right in the middle of summer, July 20th to the 30th. So looking for more people to join that journey so we can just get you another incredible experience. And then the fall journey is Tanzania Roots and Culture Journey, and that is right in the middle of Thanksgiving holiday. So for those who need to save some of their holiday days, that's a tour where you're in the middle of the holidays, so that should work out good for you. So it's November 16th to the 27th, and this is our 4th Tanzania journey. We started doing it in 2020 of November. South Africa is back on the schedule for the end of the year, and this is December 24th to January 4th. And then we're going to set off the year with our feature Journey of a Lifetime, and that's the Liberia Reconnection and Investment Tour, March 29th to April 9th, 2024. So that is well organized and designed to just give you an incredible experience. We're staying right there at the Kandeja Resort. That's RL Kandeja or Kenaja Resort, and that's the resort formerly owned by Mr. Bob Johnson himself, Mr. BET, and it's owned by a Ghanaian family now, based on what I'm clear about as far as information. So that is a nice little setup, and we have all the historical places set up, and then we're just going to build this tour program, and we're going to work with so much other people to make it even more impactful. So that's the good thing about this journey here. We're working with so many different people to where we're just going to just create a masterpiece and just rebuild the energy of us being interested in this doing tourism, investment, and repatriation in Liberia. Summer journey for next year, Ghana repatriation investment tour. So I finally was able to get a summer date on here for Ghana. So looking for those who been looking to travel in the middle of the summer to Ghana. And we have our own independent program and the business conference, a land tour, and things like that. Definitely excited. And then we journeyed to Egypt. That's would be my 20th year of traveling to Africa, and that would be one of the second countries was Egypt. So that is a 20th anniversary right there, traveling to the Nile Valley, and then now we're going to be taking groups of people Egypt more on a regular basis, and this is something that we just expanded into based on this, our expertise. So that's November 21st to December 2nd, and then I'm open to the December 2024 dates. I'm not sure what country that will be, but one of these countries will just add it. I just have to process a few things, but we're gonna set up Senegal and the Gambia again, since that was an incredible journey that the numbers and the energy worked out good. And we're going to set that one for April 2025. So that's what we have as far as the schedule right now. Once we close out on a few of these other journeys, we'll just keep adding in our schedules. And we just add it to where the schedule is out ahead of time, usually at least 1 year to 2 years ahead of time. So you can plan, look at the dates, and work out what you have to work out, and then just keep in touch with us. So fam, I always want to encourage you all to keep on strolling down on the website, and then just be clear on all these details that we have set up, so you're clear. And if you just want to send me a quick message, you can just click on this WhatsApp link and just message me. And then this is all of our videos and photo documentation in this my bio or information that's on LinkedIn. So all that information you could just process, check out. That way you could just be clearer on who you're dealing with and what we are offering. And this, you can also use that information also to compare it to whatever else someone else is saying that they're offering to you. So this is our last group pictures, and I'll show you the last few of them, and then you can scroll all the way down to 2006, and you'll see me. I'm usually on the left or the right somewhere on these photos, just to make it easier to find me. See, there you go, family. And then all of these dates you're seeing in 2020, 2021, that's all during the COVID era. Yeah. So when I'm telling you that we don't stop, we don't stop. We keep the flow of things going. None of these things have been able to stop us, not even Ebola. So this is a divine mission by our ancestors to get us connected to the African continent. And this is what we're sharing with you, family. So reach out to me. And this is the information that I'll have at the bottom. Our website, phone numbers, and so on. So you can just reach out and connect, and we can just talk and dialogue and get you prepared. But let me get you back to our featured program, our featured connection, so we can get into our topic for the day. Yes, greetings, my good brother, Kala Genesis, brother. How you feeling?
I'm feeling on fire, brother. On fire.
What do you feel about this topic today, and what do you want to focus on talking about before?
I want to focus a timely topic, because I think we're missing something in the movement, right? People just talk about, let's go to Africa, but I don't hear anything about Black power. I don't hear anything about Black economics. I don't hear anything about that. That's the part I'm missing. People automatically assume that, oh, I'm in Africa and I'm Africa. That's it. That's not enough. Are you building Black power?
Right.
Are you building Black institutions? Are you building Black family? And you got to be unapologetically about Black power, right? Just like the Asians are unapologetically about Chinese power, Japan power, European power, Russian power. We're the only group of people on this earth that want to apologize, right, about wanting to have power in this world. We almost think it's like a sin to talk about power. It's almost like a sin to talk about Black people having power over their lives, power over their destiny. If we say that we want to do something and everything, why do we got people pushing back on us, right? This move to Africa is a power move, okay? It's a geopolitical power move, right? The United States and all these people have what they want in Africa. They're taking minerals, they're dumping goods on the continent and everything. They're getting what they want out of Africa and everything. We're saying that we, the descendants of slaves, have a different thing about Africa. And I'm going to talk about something tonight, right? I'm going to revisit that video of the congressman drilling those four-star general, okay? I'm going to make my point about this tonight. People automatically assume when they hear Black people in Africa, oh, he's in Africa. They don't give a damn about what is he doing. Is he helping white power? I said there's white Euro infrastructure and power structure, and there's Black African infrastructure and power, okay? There's no in between, okay? You can't serve two masters. Okay, you cannot raise the red, white, and blue American flag in Africa and do the bidding of the Europeans and the white corporation in Africa and everything. Now, if you are, let me say this before I scare some of you Negroes off, right? I'm not, look, I know some of you may be listening in corporate America and stuff like that. Hey, I get that. You're a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I want you. But the bottom line is this. You have to understand that our needs, as far as like empowerment of the local people on the continent, building Pan-African links and everything, Black unity, Black empowerment, Black economic and social and political power is part of the deal. What I'm seeing too much is people going to Africa doing the same old, you know, oh, I'm just Africa. So just because you got a Black face in Africa and you are representing some corporation who's making money and everything, and you're going over there doing some dances and wearing the African robe and all that, don't mean Black power, you know? Wearing a kufi and long gowns and pajamas in Africa, you know, don't mean Black power. Black power is when we have complete control over our social, economic, and political destiny. Okay, if we're not doing that, then we're not doing Black power. You know, we can't do half-ass stuff anymore. And so this is what we want to talk about tonight. You know, tonight, are we doing Black power, or are we just basically faking the funk? You know, every business deal in Africa is not good. If you're getting helping scammers and doing a bunch of nefarious stuff, and this idea, I don't care about people going to Africa. At least they're doing something in Africa, Carla. You know, I don't care what you're doing. If you're not building anything, you're not accomplishing anything, and you're not furthering the cause of building our infrastructure and freeing us. Because if we don't do this right, we're going to pass poverty, dependency onto the next generation. And we're not breaking those chains of poverty. The Asians did it with the Bandung Conference. Okay, now they left something with the future Asians to build with, to compete with the rest of the world. If we're going over there doing the same thing and everything, not believing in ourselves and everything, you, Black America, are the greatest Black people the world's ever seen. Everybody knows that, okay? But it seems like when we go to Africa, we don't really pull together and show the world what we're capable of. The ball's in our hands. When we go to the continent, we're among Black people. We're in the majority, okay? We're not representing the United States. We're representing Black America, and you have to start thinking like that. You know, we're trying to connect Black America and the best of Black America with the best of Africa to build a future for our people. Now, if the United States and everything sees, you know, something that could be a good idea, we can see how we could benefit from that. That's fine. But when you don't even raise your voice to think that's a concern, okay, and you're letting them walk away with all the gold, all the lithium, and everything like that, and you're just basically sitting back taking crumbs and the same old, and I don't see any infrastructure being built. I don't see any the Black HBCUs, the Black colleges, the Black engineering firms getting contracts. I don't see Black America getting contracts. I don't see us working together. There's no consortium of Black businesses on both sides of the Atlantic working together to build something collectively for us and everything. Then I question, are we making a Black power move, or what are we doing? So this is what we're going to delve in tonight, and I want to know some questions tonight. Do you feel that a lot of stuff that goes on in Africa is actually Black power? Because it seems to me that it's like somebody just put in a comment, said black people inherently believe having power is bad. Look at the way we think. Look at the way the mayor of Chicago talks about corporations. Oh, corporations will rob everything. Look, we need Black bankers. We need Black businessmen. We need those people with the MBAs and all the people like that to build a future for ourselves. There are no African American banks on the continent. That's one place African American banks can grow to the size of Western banks. Is on the African continent. Financing things like mortgages, financing industries, giving loans to business people and everything, using infrastructure and land as collateral, you know, farms and stuff like this, providing a capital base where Black retirees could put in financial instruments, right, to not only benefit the continent, right, but to have a safe place to put capital in, like the South Africans did back in the 70s. So South Africa was the number one place to put your retirement in South African rand and the South African economy. We could do that all over the continent, right? And we should have our own hedge fund companies. We should have our own banking institutions. We should have our own investment securities alliances and everything. That's unapologetically having Black power. Now, you don't know, some people say, do you have to work about Black power? Look, it's not all about saying it. It's about doing it. If you're basically building a consortium, right, and it's a Pan-African consortium of businesses and everything like that, right, yeah, the world's going to be like, oh, this is unusual because people are shocked. They've never seen this before. We, for the last 70 years, have been fighting for integration and color blindness, right? Had the world got any colorblind? No. The top CEOs of America are still white. The major tech companies and everything like that are still white. We don't have a technology infrastructure, right? The apps. We can make our own apps and everything like that, but we choose to live under their infrastructure. We choose, most of us, when we talk about Black power and everything right here, they talk about Black hour. We don't even have our own streaming platforms, okay? You got everybody on YouTube using StreamYard and YouTube and all stuff like this. We don't even think it's time to be like, look, we talk about Black power, right? Well, all these people talk about Black power, right? But they ignore the Black-owned streaming companies, the Black-owned platforms and everything. That's a start right there. Black-owned social media website. I have a Black-owned social media website, you know, that's just as good as Facebook. If everybody got on there and everybody's there as a Pan-African, it's like you don't need Facebook. We can communicate with each other with the BAIO social network. So therefore, what I'm talking about is real Black power. Black power means supporting Black institutions, okay? Black businesses, Black banks, you know, Black media companies, Black social media companies. All these things right here is Black power, okay? And so therefore, people want to talk about Pan-African absent Black power. So you got people out here talking Pan-Africanism, but there's no Black power in it, you know? In the future, we want to talk about when we go to the African continent. Are you spending money in Black-owned establishments, right? Do you understand the people communicate with the people now know that when you go to their restaurants and everything, you know, we're here because we're Black and we're supporting Black-owned businesses and everything. So therefore, if we start doing that enough on the continent, right, then the opportunity will be open up to us. But if we're not doing that and everything, they're saying, well, what's the difference between you coming over here and the white people coming over here? Okay, you're spending your money on white people, you're investing in stuff and everything, you're catering to non-Blacks and everything like that. So what do we need? What do we need you for? We have to show people the value in Black power, having Black power. And the Black power movement is what the Pan-African, it was the evolution, Pan-African evolution to the idea of Black unity and Black power. You cannot have Black power without, we can't have Pan-Africanism without Black power. For example, there's people going around now, I had checked people talk about Elon Musk is an African American. I said, no, he's not. He's not an African American. Well, he's born in Africa. I don't care if he's born in Africa. He's not African. He's a European who just happened to be born in Africa. Okay? You would never have anybody say a white person born in China, call him a Chinese. He's Chinese, just born in China. But when it comes to Black people and the Black race and everything, because we're so self-hating and we're so self-denying that anybody could basically just run through Africa and call themselves an African, because we have no immune system. We have no thing of protecting ourselves. And we're scared to be called racist. We're scared to be called, we're scared of being called Black supremacists, Black separatists, all that. Like that's a bad thing. Like that's a bad thing. Call a Black supremacist as being a bad thing. Or Black racist is a bad thing. I don't care what you call it. I'm the Black survivalist. And survivalist means our people, the people who have our common history, you know, the transatlantic slave trade and of African origin that we need to unite and build for ourselves. No group of people have any moral right to tell us to be who we are. Okay, the only reason why they do that is because they know if we start if Black people all over the world start thinking like this, right? They know their days are numbered. This is why we have a conundrum right now in the Black race. I'm going to talk about this tonight. This is why we have people like Afro Dumbass out here, you know, and everything, who talk about he hates Pan-Africanism, right? What he hates is the concept of Blackness, of race identity. That's why he calls us the blacks, everything. Everything is about being Black. because he really, in his stupid mind, really believes there's no race and no color and that stuff like that doesn't exist. Because he says his ancestors were victims of this transatlantic slave trade, so he doesn't have to identify as being black. He doesn't mind the fact that white people still control the world. He thinks he's going to benefit by what little crumbs from the white man's table. But we, the real Black Power Pan-Africans right here, we're trying to take the table. We're trying to create the table, build a table, and we're at this head of the table, and everybody else is trying to get in. That's what Black Power is all about. We calling the shots, you know, and that's our rightful place. And that's only going to happen when there's a unity on both sides of the Atlantic. Yeah, he did say that. He said, yeah, slavery was just a good business. He brags about his ancestors were good traders. They made a lot of fortune in the slave trade. You know, this guy right here is an outright race trader to the black race. He doesn't believe in Black Power and everything. He doesn't believe in anything we're doing. So I have no problem with that. But when you get on social media and I see people up there that's lukewarm. I hate lukewarm people, right? If he's on there talking like that right now, you have no business being in any platform or anything with me. Okay? I'm going to say that right now tonight. If you on Afro Dumbass's show, if you're friends with him, you're friendly with him, don't come on this platform. Don't let me find you and don't let me come on this platform. I don't care who you are. Okay? Because we are serious about this Black Power and Black nationalist thing. I never thought in a million years that this would we would be going through this. I thought it was just apparent. We suffered a transatlantic slave trade. Africa's at the bottom of the world situation. Let's pull the best minds on both sides of the Atlantic and let's pull our entire race up. But we got people here talking about, oh, black people talk about race too much. You know, these stupid ass Negro peers. Even to the point where you got somebody like Umar Johnson. And we got Umar Johnson saying it now. What the hell is going on? Umar Johnson woke up. He said, you guys said, damn, Umar, I'm glad you finally figured it out. You got people out here who don't friggin' care about black liberation. All these words were reintroducing. Black liberation, Black Power, you know, black unity, black love. All these things right here, and this idea of blackness. Sammy Davis Jr. said, he said, look, you a Muslim, I'm a Jew, everything, Christian, you're a Christian, everything. But what unites us? Our blackness. That blackness comes before anything. That's what unites us. That's the religion of blackness. We're a black race. We're the black race. We're black Africans. That's what unites us. That's what comes before your tribe. That comes before your ethnicity. That comes before everything. If you don't think like that, you put your tribe first, you put your street first, your hood first, everything like that, you are a freaking traitor and you don't deserve to be in anywhere where I'm at. That's what I'm going to open with.
Yes, brother Kala, setting it off. Appreciate the energy, brother. Appreciate the energy, keeping it strong. So family, that's what we're talking about tonight, family. Black Power economics and Pan-Africanism. We're looking to this, cook up a recipe for this nation building. So that's it. Trying to get more of us to be in focus on and be on code. But unfortunately, we have a lot of these black devils that are in the way and race traders that weaken our movements and they just, abuse, like we see more and more people literally coming into the Pan-African movement and what we're doing in Africa. And they're not about that life and that business. They're just there to this, try to this, try to take advantage of the situation.
They're provocateurs, They're provocateurs. All they want to do is come. They see something exciting about. They know the college ends. Oh wow, Kyle's so smart. He's so intelligent. Everything. So I'm not the typical stereotypical Black Power national. I actually know about science. I know history. I'm studied. I'm learned. I'm lettered, and everything like that. And they're like, damn man, if this guy's talking like this, let's see something to this. So they come in half-ass, lukewarm, weak, and everything, and they try to poke holes in what we're trying to do and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, I'm 100% in this. I believe this. I believe this my whole entire life. This is my whole entire life is about this, right? I believe. Let me start another section. I'm gonna wait a little while, but I'm just gonna start it right now, right? The reason why I am the way I am, right?
Before you even continue, see what this is right here.
the same MPA called African. He's not an African. You know what makes him an African? You know, that's so disrespect. Then they call him African American. They don't even, the term African American is so beautiful, right? So now they want to diminish it. No, African Americans are Africans who came over here on the boat. No, African Americans are the Africans that were stolen and built a culture and built their civilization and their way of life in the United States. Those are African Americans. Came here in the 1600s. Okay, they're Americans by nationality. They're Africans by day. That's who I am. That's what I am. I'm an African American. Okay, and so therefore, when people try to those self-hating black people who don't want to identify with Africa, the FBA's Adolf, they can go to hell. Okay, those people who want to call Elon Musk an African and all this kind of stuff like that. You got freaking white devils. I don't even like that term because I don't believe, but the term fits right in this situation. You know, the Afrikaners, right? They're saying that they're Africans. You know, they said we don't want to mix with the Africans, right? Right? But we're Africans. And you got Africans down in South Africa calling the Afrikaners, they're oppressors, Africans, just because they were born on the continent. No, you are not an African. An Indian in Africa is not an African. You may be a South African national, right? Just like the Lebanese in Liberia are Lebanese in Liberia, right? You may one day be a Liberian citizen, but you're not African, you're not Liberian, you're not a real Liberian, you're not a real Ghanaian, you're not a real Kenyan, okay? A Kenyan is somebody who's a black African, indigenous to the continent. Your bloodline has to go to the continent. And this is the whole thing. The only place on the world where people could just come, be born on the continent, don't assimilate, don't marry and everything like that, and still call themselves an African. Elon Musk is not an African. You know, he's a white man that was born in Africa, a privileged background. I think he was Boer, Afrikaner, or whatever like that. But he's a European that lives in South Africa. He's a European South African. He's not an African. An African is a black man, is a black woman, someone whose DNA goes back 25,000 years on the continent. Somebody whose ancestry, racial ancestry, DNA could prove that they're 80 to 85%. I would say 70% African DNA, you're an African. You're a black African. If you have any less than that, you're 50%, whatever like that, you're a mixed race. Okay, you know, depends on what your allegiance is. We could work it out. But there's no way I'm accepting people that are white and all these people that live as African. I don't care how much now you can live on the continent, right? And you could do good things and everything. I have no problem with that. But when what happens is this: a lot of white people, right? When I've noticed something over the years, right? They're the ones that keep a lot of tribalism up in Africa. They don't like black people identifying as black Africans. You know, I remember one time I saw this thing where this Zimbabwean guy was like, "You guys oppressed us in America." He told this white person, "Just leave us alone. Get the hell out of Zimbabwe. We don't want you here. Get the hell out." The white guy was like, "Oh, we're supposed to be, but I was born here. We're all Africans." "No, you're not a Zimbabwean. You're a Rhodesian. Get the hell out of here. You're the devil. Get the hell out of here. We don't want you here." You know, any other race of people, any other time would have been like, okay, they're gone. The Indians got rid of the whites. The Bao Zedong told all the white people in Shanghai, get the fuck out. You know, this is Chinese, because he knew. You know, there was Chinese Uncle Toms, and Chinese people said, oh, they speak Chinese and they know our cultures. So let me know. He said, you people got to get the hell out. And then when you do that, right, then when the real Chinese are left, right, the real Chinese, the racial Chinese left, now we could build a nation. You cannot build a nation when you got minority groups and people like that. They got their own thing. The whites in Africa are connected to the white power structure in Europe. The Indians in South Africa, East Africa are globally connected with India and everything. You got these interloper, these parasites that are sucking the life out of the Arabs in East Africa and everything like that are connected to the Arab world and everything. They're not for black power, okay? If you're not for black power, you have no business being on the African continent. You have no problem. You have no business being in black African infrastructure or Africa for Africans. That's just the way it is. Call me a racist and everything like that. I don't care. I have no problem with any other race. But the Bible says, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, right? And like I said, I told the black people now talk about, oh, white people are all over Africa, so it's all right for them to live in Europe. No. If you're stupid enough to let the white man rob you in Africa, rob what's yours in Africa, that don't mean you get a free pass in Europe. He's not going to let you take over Europe. He's not going to let you do that. But what about America? Black people in America are different. We built this country in America. We're a different situation. But when you voluntarily leave your continent behind for greener pastures, and you got white people going into the continent, right, every day, setting up shop, setting up business, everything, and you spent 30, 40 years in the West and everything, you're not about black power. And or when you look up in countries like Ghana and everything, where you see white people and Arabs building tall buildings, that's not black power. Black power is when you have black real estate developers but developing 99% of your infrastructure. That's black power. Black power is when you control the oil industry and everything like that. You control everything. I think Museveni with his oil pipeline, right? That's a black power move. So we're going to start saying what's a black power move and what's not a black power move. If you want to ask me that question, call tonight or type in the chat or send us a super chat. Help the show out. Send a super chat, and I'll feature your comment, if you want me to dwell on it. I'll tell you what's a black power move, right? Not all investment in Africa is a black power move. I'll say it to you like that. Not all people on the continent, right, are about black power. So what I want to talk about tonight is this. The reason why I think the way I do is because I came from a 2-parent home, came from a black working class, middle class background and everything. Watched my father work hard and everything. My mother was a stay-home mom, everything like that. I had a normal American life in America, right? We went to a black church. We went down south every year, connected with our southern roots and everything like that, every summer, everything like that. So I'm well into it. My mother's from Harlem on that. We used to go to Harlem, the Refuge Temple, Bishop Bonner. And I just found out that Bishop Bonner, from my aunt, Bishop Bonner had a mission in Liberia. He built a hospital and he built a mission in Liberia in 1979, but it closed down because of the coup. I just found that out. I thought Bishop Bonner was in Ghana. He said, no, Bishop Bonner said Liberia was a homeland. He said Liberia was a homeland. He's been there many times. Bishop Bonner, the Honorable Bishop Bonner, he's passed away years ago, but he was the pastor, the apostle. He was apostle of Refuge Temple, the largest church in Harlem, and he was a real staunch Pan-Africanist, right? He was a Garveyite. He was a Pan-Africanist, okay? So I learned that history. So my grandfather, right, was a Garveyite. My great-grandfather knew Marcus Garvey. My family came from the South, went to Queens and Harlem or that. And so therefore we're always in the black community and everything like that. So I say both sides of my family, right? My grandparents on both sides were married. Okay. We have family structure, everything like that. So therefore I'm not one of these black people that come from a broken background, not dissing anybody, anything like that. But I don't come from broken families and everything. I know black people in America are capable of doing everything. I've seen black success and black perseverance my whole entire life. So I come with the confidence that black people in America, black America is capable of building anything they want to build on this earth. And we're not an inferior race of people. We don't need white people or anybody else telling us what to do. And we don't need continental Africans or anybody else guiding us to anything. We're more than capable of doing anything we want to do. So I come from a strong powerful black family that taught me about my history and everything, and taught me pride. I learned African history when I was a kid. I was told that, yes, we come from Africa. We're African people that live in America, right? I had an uncle that lived in Ghana for decades. My Uncle Ronnie lived in Ghana for decades, okay? So we basically are always in tune, to what's going on in the continent, what's going on in the continent, We're very proud people of the African roots and our heritage and everything. And anytime you try to get out of line, yeah, you African and everything, And none of this, we weren't taught that we're Native American and also like that. We were taught that we're black African people that live in America. And we're proud of that. We're proud of that. And I didn't come from a broken home. I wasn't raised by white people and everything. I wasn't raised by foster care and everything like that. I came from a stable home where people provided for us. The people provided. Section 8 didn't provide for us, right? Welfare didn't provide for us. My father provided for me. So therefore I came with that idea that yes, we can do anything we want to do. So I don't sit here and talk about the government. The government is not my zaddy. The American government is not my zaddy. I made it all this time without the U.S. government and everything like that. Never provided for me or anything like that. So I have that mindset when we talk about nation building. That if we were real men and we were about that black power life, we could do whatever we want to do. But too much of our people, they sit around, oh, we got to get a reparations check. We got to get this. Oh, the white man, police brutality and all stuff like this. So that's where I come from. I come from seeing strong black men raising families, strong black men who came from the Carolinas and built New York City. All my family, my uncles and everything like that worked in the civil service and construction, longshoremen, all that stuff like that, built homes and everything in Queens and Long Island, Brooklyn, Queens and Long Island for generations. Their kids went to college. I got cousins of my first cousin that are millionaires. They got nice beachfront property in Long Island. So I come from black success. I come from black people who said, oh, give me one friggin' chance and I'm going to show you what I could do. I don't come from black failure. I come from a family of strong black. Our women in our family didn't work as a nanny taking care of white kids. They reared us. That's what the black nation is all about. But you can't call yourself a black power and everything like that, and you basically are dependent on the white man. Or you got your sisters and your aunties and everybody living on welfare in Section 8, and you guys haven't pulled anything together to make yourself independent of the white man system. I'm sorry, I got to tell it like it is tonight. And this is what I'm seeing now in the so-called conscious movement. I'm saying also, why are people out putting this stuff together? Because to be honest with you, I just think the lower rungs of black America have too much to say over the majority of black people who seem like they're doing okay in America. Those are the black people I want for this Pan-African movement. The people who made it in America. You could conquer this America and you could make it and everything and show that you could build families and build businesses and everything, work a career, work the top of your thing, become a supervisor in your job, raise your family, send your kids to the military, send your kids to the army, send your kids out to college and everything. Those are the type of black people I want. That's black power. I don't want no failures and riffraffs with me. I want people that's on my level and everything. And there's plenty of black people like that. But we got to draw them into this movement right here, saying that we want the intelligentsia of black America. We're going to tell them that how you could benefit, why having an Africa plan is right. There's black people out there with billions and billions of dollars in home equity and billions of dollars in 401ks, retirement, everything like that is a thing. It's good you ready to come and broke home. Once upon a time we did until people destroy. Until them people. Why is it always them people? Why can't we take responsibility? I see what you're saying. But the same thing that came against other black people, it didn't happen to my parents. My father was loyal to my mother till the day he died. He died in her arms. People don't want to freaking do what they have to do to survive. Get with your wife, marry her, raise your kids and everything like that, teach them the right and wrong and everything. Get back into that. You know? Hey, you call you a Negro, say how much you like that. He's not no damn African American. He's a friggin' white man, a white South African, whatever the hell that means, living in America. African America, term African America is us. I'm sick and tired of people minimalizing us when FBA people, oh, he's an African American. I'm not African. I'm an FBA. Your movement is created by a goddamn comedian, a jokester, a prankster, Tariq.
I mean, that's how serious these people. That's how serious these people are in their fake movements. They have movements being led by entertainers and comedians,
clowns, court jesters,
and YouTubers and things like that. So, family, we're here to broadcast and share with you because it's getting realer and realer. I get tired of traveling around the African continent, and I'm seeing all other races and nations of people enterprise and doing things that we as a people could be doing, should be doing. And not enough of us are doing. So the game is open. So that's why we don't waste our time on a lot of these folks. And we're just looking for the real people who want to connect with us. And our information is always down there to reach out. But let it be about some action. Let it be about some realness and some serious business.
People who come from real families and value family and businesses. I know most successful Black people in America got strong families. Their father and son business. Here in Virginia, we got so many father and son associates that got their own plumbing businesses, their own roofing businesses, everything. Generation of people passing businesses down and stuff like that because they understand the family struggle. You go to some of these family reunions South one night, you see people. What do you think? Your family's broken. You haven't spoken to your sister or your father in years and everything, right? But yeah, you go around some Black people, they got their family structure together, the such family, everything, and they got the family reunion. That means everything. Family is high. Family is high. This is what people talk about. We gotta have generational. How you gonna have generational wealth if you don't have families? Family is how you pass down wealth, how you pass things down. So it's the Black family, the Black woman, the Black man, right? That's the key. And then when you start building families and everything like that, you're gonna look for the options, right? You're gonna say, what's the best place to raise a family? My father did that too. He said, look. We're in Queens, New York, right? This is a funny story, right? I'll never forget, right? Our house got broken into in Queens, right? My father said, you know something? We're moving upstate. We're moving upstate. We're moving up. Huh? And then I said, get this. A couple of years later, we found out the person who broke the house was our cousin Billy.
Yeah.
You tell me we My cousin Billy was a thug. He was, who he knew? He knew Henry Hill from the Goodfellas. He knew him.
Go figure, right?
Yeah, they lived in the same building at one time in Queens. A nice building, sweet building. And my uncle's what's the names? Ike and Gene. These guys were straight up criminals, thugs, criminals. They knew all those Italian gangsters in Queens and whatnot, and stuff like that, So we moved upstate. Years later, we found out it was Billy that broke into the house, man. Stole our brand new digital alarm clock. That's a new thing back then. The digital alarm clock, it came through our window and brought. Well, we was at church, but our house got robbed and whatnot. It was our cousin. It was my second cousin, Billy. My mother's first cousin, Billy. Who broke into our house. So we moved upstate. My father was like, yo, look, okay, I'm gonna move my family upstate New York. Nice air, nice clean air, we're in our city and everything. We made that decision to move our family into a better neighborhood, better schools, whatever like that, And so that's what you do. So therefore, when you talk about how come people aren't coming to Africa and everything like that, first of all, a real family is gonna look at, okay, what's the school system? What's my kids gonna go to school? How are they gonna do it? What's the hospital like? What if my wife has to have something done, whatever? What if I get hospital like? They're gonna look at a real family. Gonna look at all that before. A lot of the times, the country they go to is a country like South Africa because they have that infrastructure set up. So I'm not doubting that, right? Now, those of us who are talking about building in West Africa, we have to make sure that that we build those infrastructures up, right? Yeah. And then you'll attract the sort of people, the real sort of people that can make a difference, Other than that, we keep attracting riffraffs and lowlifes and everything going over to the continent, messing up for everybody, getting involved with scamming, getting involved with drama and making YouTubes about it and everything like that. That's what we have. It's turning the whole, the Pan-African was turned into a friggin' circus, an embarrassing circus online. And people say, that's what Black America does? No, you're not getting the best of Black America right now going to the continent. You're getting a bunch of fools, clowns, buffoons, and idiots going to the continent right now. People with no sense of family, no sense of family. If you don't have a sense of family, you definitely don't have a sense of community. Why do you think these people could come together and then say, let's build a community? Because they have no family structure, so you don't have no family, you have no community. The core of any community is a family structure. When Black families get together and say, you know something, we're going to purchase some land in Ghana. We're going to purchase some land in Liberia. We're going to purchase some land in Tanzania. We're going to build a community here. That's when you have families. Why? Because they're looking out for not for themselves. And everything I hear with most Black people go to Ghana is all about how they can get. They're not thinking about their children. What kind of life would all our children have? Are there parks, their playgrounds, or the stuff they can get into, or is it educational opportunities? What are we gonna do? Nobody thinks about that. They just go over there and spend their money, and then 2 years later they're coming back. Oh, I failed in Tanzania. Forget Tanzania. You didn't go in there as a group. So if you have like 15 families, right? You get together. Okay, we got families. We want to make this work, right? Your wife, my wife, everything. Let the wives get together. Let the men get together, right? And they say, how can we provide for our children? We no longer have the federal government in America to rely on. So how are we going to provide for our children? How are we going to have power? How can they feel empowered in this new reality that we're living in? Stuff like these are conversations I don't hear happening. It's all about just go to the continent, go to the continent, go to the continent. No infrastructure, no family structure, no anything, no path, no coming. When Liberia was created, one thing they had was when new members came in, right? They had people, they had families set up, right? We'll take in new arrivals, right, and give them a place to stay and everything for like a year, and also give them land to farm for themselves and everything. And the next thing you know, that new arrival married somebody, and they had their own family, they had their own homestead and everything. They helped each other out. They understood families and building families and building family farms and family business was a core and empowering people. Okay. No one wants to be disempowered. Everybody, you have a right to basic power over your own life, your own destiny. You should not feel at the mercy of the state or anybody else. And how you have power is having power and dignity of work and opportunity for your posterity and continuity for your children and everything. If you can't do that, then my friend, you're not doing this thing the right way. You should see a clear path. Yeah, I built this right here, but my son's going to take it to the next level. And that's what our ancestors did in Liberia. So by the time in the 1970s, they had a roaring economy and a roaring country. Kids going to school and building things for the future. They were on their way. Liberia was on their way to catching up to the full industrialized world. So therefore, I'm going to go follow the model that my ancestors did in Liberia, and they were successful. And so therefore, if people want to keep challenging me on this and everything, and they go over to the continent and they keep failing and keep like this, they're not building any family, they're not building any generational wealth, they're not getting into all that. All they want to do is go over to the continent and run their mouths on YouTube. So there's a new day dawning. Any more comments, Brother Bomani?
Yes. Comments waiting for you.
Okay, I agree that most of us were strong for it turn out much. Yeah, that's the answer right there. What you have to do is this. If you find yourself a good woman, right? Say, introduce her to the Black nationalist, Black power movement, right? A woman, right, will buy into a strong Black man, Black power movement and everything like that. So this is the future. We want to build a Black family. We have to do this as a duty for our race and everything. When people tell you, oh, I don't believe in that race, run from them like you would a rattlesnake. When a woman tells you she's not interested in the Black community, Black power, obviously a majority of our Black women are not interested in building communities anymore. They're not interested in building strong families. Who do you see when you go out there to soccer games and everything like that? You see young white couples, husband and wife, the dad took the day off, took kids out there, and what do you see on the other side? Black single mothers. Or you may see a father out there with his son, whatever like that. You don't see strong young Black couples anymore. And this is a problem. Despite everything, how can you talk about, and most of the problems you see in Black America is because we have broken homes. You cannot build Black power with women living over here and the men living over here. The Black power system, Black power starts in the home. You look at the 1960s. All those men, why they went to war in the streets and everything? Why? Because they want to feed their families. You look at the 1968, 67, 68 Memphis garbage can march, the Martin Luther King took part of, right? Which he finally got the message, right? These men wanted their dignity. They wanted to basically feed their families. These men wanted to be men. They said, look, if we had decent jobs, we could feed our families. Same thing happened to Detroit, right? White people were not letting Black people have mortgages on their homes. They said, look, we want the basic things that you have. White people moved out in the suburbs and everything, but they gave Black people, they charged Black people double what they were paying for in rent and everything, saying, okay, after 20 years, the house will be yours and everything. And the bottom line, black people said, why can't we get a mortgage on our own? Why are we paying you? We're not building equity in the house and everything. That was about black power. Everything we fought for is about black power. If you're not talking about black power and building black families and building black communities and everything, it starts here in America. You with the mind. Why our communities falling apart? Why we got gangs and everything like that? Because we failed to establish real black power in the black community. We failed to put our foot down and put our foot up some people's ass. Well, whoa, our neighbors are being gentrified. Well, you didn't want to build these neighborhoods up. You didn't want at the age of 30, right, to settle down, build a family, and then next thing you know, you got a community. You didn't want to keep your neighborhood clean, safe, everything, where there's civic-minded people and everything like we had back in the days. So the bottom line is this. Brother said, keep preaching, man. I agree with what you're saying. I would like to with my John, everybody. Yeah, like I said, there's black people out there that are doing well and everything. But the thing is, you know who got those black people? White America. They siphoned off all our black middle class and everything into their neighborhoods. You know, I'm a product of that. You know, the best black people, whatnot, they were offered sanctuary passage out of the black community into white suburbs and everything like that. And so the community left behind had no role model, anything like that. That's what the problem is. So when we get back to black love and black building, black everything, you can't talk about nation building without talking about building black families and black households. You know, most black people who were successful choose to stay right in the West, though, where they were comfortable. How do we get the message out? Okay, look, most black people aren't stupid. Like a couple of years ago, it's like 12 years ago, there was an incident. You guys probably remember, don't remember, right? There was this black power couple. They call themselves a black power couple, right? These were both NBA people and everything. Well, they did a thing where they said for 1 month we're going to go to the South Side of Chicago, wherever part of Chicago was, and buy all our groceries in a black thing. And it got on thing. But they were being roundly attacked for reverse racism. They said, look, we're going to go into the black community and spend dollars for a month, like 2 months out of the year, in only black-owned businesses. Remember the Buy Black movement? Well, they didn't get the support among black people. They didn't get the support among black celebrities. The black people was Kiki and Ha-Han and on white platforms and everything, talking and stuff like that. They didn't get the thing saying, yeah, this is right. Well, what are white people going to say? Worrying about what white people say is not black power. They made the decision. They said, oh, why are you doing this? Shouldn't we be striving for a colorblind world and everything? And they were roundly attacked by those hypocrites of black conservatives. The black conservatives should say, yeah, this is black success. It's black businesses. They're helping black business and everything. That's it. The black conservatives aren't interested in seeing black people succeed. When we do make those things where we try to help other black people out and everything like that, oh, you're being racist. Then when we sit back and say, okay, I don't want to be racist, why aren't y'all fixing your own communities? Why aren't y'all doing all this? That's what the black conservatives say. So this couple was like, man, it was like, we got this big pushback thing. Let me see if I can find this. We had this big pushback for people saying that we're doing the wrong thing. You know, at the time, that was the time of Barack Obama, president. I think he just became president. You know, and people are like, oh, we're in the Obama era, you know, color doesn't matter and all this kind of stupid stuff. Color still matters to the Indians, right? They always buy all Indian and everything. Color still matters to the Chinese. Color still matters to the Mexicans and everybody else. But only the black people are stupid enough to buy into this nonsense. Now our community is in chaos because they rejected black power. Let's see.
Let me post the comments up here, run them by you real quick. Here you go. This is back about 3 minutes ago.
Okay. We didn't fail. I don't know what we did. We chose to integrate. I don't know. When people say integrate, right? Okay. Did we really integrate? I don't really think so. I really don't think so. Moving into a white neighborhood don't mean integration. You know, we try to assimilate, right? You can't integrate into American society. You know, and I don't think we chose to integrate, right? I think at the time, right, there was black people out there who they just wanted a house, they just wanted a neighborhood, and they just wanted to move out, whatever, like that, because we weren't getting loans and stuff like that to fix up black areas. So they just moved where a lot of black people moved into new subdivisions that weren't really predominantly necessarily white, but the white was a majority. But they were moving next to white people who just bought a house, just moved in when they did. So that's what you had in the 70s, these new housing subdivisions and everything that black, white, Chinese, everybody else were moving into. You know, we can involve every aspect of white society now. That's what integration. We can get jobs. We can get any jobs we want. You know, that's integration. Well, in a technical way, we were always integrated because most black people always work for white people. That's integration, you know. You know, Detroit, when black people, it wasn't for black America, black men built the steel industry in Gary, Indiana, Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Cleveland, places like that. We know all about integration, you know. You know, we always were so-called integrated into a white power structure. You know, we can't say, oh, we chose to integrate. They had the jobs. Let me give you another example of what I'm talking about, right? To bring this clearly. We have no power over when white people decide to move a factory. We have to travel long distances to get the work. We have no the school districts, right? They get the best dollars for the best schools are in the areas where white people. We have no control over that. And places like Houston, Texas, they built a highway right through Houston, and Houston was never the same ever since. Poverty. Same thing happened in St. Augustine, Florida. They built a highway system to bypass the area, and St. Augustine, Florida was once a thriving black community, died. So it's the whole black people responsible for that. So we had no choice but to move out and move someplace else. So let's not stop with this beating up. Black people did what they had to do. We had no power. Black people had no power to choose to integrate and move, whatever like that. We did that as a survival mechanism. So we got to get out of those conservative talking points. Well, black people chose to integrate. We constantly say we had to do what we had to do to survive. If you know black culture, we always did what we had to do to avoid white people, avoid racism. You know, we knew that moving next to white people would have a racial encounter and stuff like that. The black people who are lucky are the people in parts of D.C. and parts of Maryland who was able to build stay in majority black areas and build schools and stuff like that. They didn't have to really go around white people. But for the masses of black people coming out of the South and New York and everything like that, we had really no choice. You know, we had to go where the schools at. And then they bust us to different schools and everything because if there's too many black people in the area, they're going to bust you to white schools here, white schools there. We had no power over that. So we chose to integrate. You had no choice where they choose to bust your kids at. And it happened in Boston. Study the Boston here. So people study history. Study what happened in Boston. Black people in the area were asking for more money to build their schools to top level. The white liberals and the black civil rights leaders wanted colorblindness. Another example I'm talking about is the Soul City Project in Eastern North Carolina by Floyd McKenzie. He said, look, we got land in North Carolina. Let's build the prototype black communities. Go look up Soul City. I'm gonna find that video too, Bomani. I'm gonna play these videos, Bomani, tonight because I gotta make my point, you know? So I'm gonna find these videos and play them to you. Soul City was a city. And who attacked it? Andrew Young. Same guy who attacked Liberia. And when he went there in 79. Oh, they're a bunch of like that. He's a clown. You know, and they knew he was just a puppet of Jimmy Carter when that's why Liberians rejected him. So he basically came out against he joined with Jesse Helms. So no, building the Soul City is racist and blah, blah, blah. It would have been a perfect thing. He said, look, we got all these black people in the north that migrate to the north. Floyd McKenzie said, and then what happened? People are now moving back to the south. So instead of black people benefiting from their own subdivisions and everything, which Richard Nixon supported, right? So yeah, this could be the wave of the future. We build housing, industrial parks, commercial zones, everything that's majority black, you know? And you have all these black people that almost like refugees start migrating back to the south and everything, and things will be good. But since our so-called leaders we didn't reject that. Our so-called leaders reject that because that was seen as segregation. That was considered black racism. building black-owned institutions and black-owned stuff. You got people out there who think black churches is racism. You know? Yeah, I'll talk about
in reference to what you just mentioned, got a perfect comment up from you for Baruti Kantembo. Let me read it. Kala.
Yeah, save that comment. I want to talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. You know, I want to keep talking about this. And I want to play this. I'm gonna find this one video about the Black Power movement. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna find this video.
But that's what I'm saying. You're just talking about the same thing, similar to this right here, literally.
Yeah. Okay. He says, okay, you can speak on John Leguizamo's comment of Latin excellence and whatnot. He's taking a talk about, the bottom line is there is no Latinx stuff because those people are divided and everything like that. John Leguizamo, and I like John Leguizamo, you know, I'm a big fan of his, you know, I think he's a cool. But the whole thing is, you know, what we're living in a world, right, because of social media where everybody is racially and ethnically sensitized right now. Everybody wants to basically secure their place in America, okay? Black America, right, is we're the one group of people, right, where we've always embraced every other group of people, Latins and everything like that, Puerto Ricans and the Harlem, East Harlem, and the blacks merged together to form one super community. You know, I get that. You know, and what John Leguizamo's problem is this, right? Most Latinos, right? Latinos. Now he's always. You ever watch his comedy skits? He talked about that, right? Most Latinos have self-hate. They want to be white. He says that, right?
Is he for real?
Yo, you see this like, yo, he's fucking white. Funny. Yo,
that's a good one.
Yo, he is fucking hilarious, right? He be coming off on Latinos, everything like that, talking about, yo, he had this one thing where he was a Japanese guy. He goes, look, you stupid spick. You know, he's like this fucking, and then Gladys, he dressed up as a lady, a Spanish lady. He's like, oh, I don't like no dark meat, right? She kicked her baby carriage because the baby dark. That was so fucking funny. He's like, but he's making fun of Latinos and their colorism and shit like that, you know? But the bottom line with the Latino community, right? I guess he wants to, like George Lopez, he doesn't believe in helping anyone. George Lopez is like, fuck Latinos. I don't know what George Lopez's problem is, you know? He's like, yo, he hasn't helped one Latino ever. So they're divided based on, I'm Mexican, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Dominican, I'm Central American, you know, whatever like that. I'm illegal. They're divided right there. So John Leguizamo wants to start this conversation to unite Latin people. I have no problem with that, you know. Latinos contribute a lot to America, you know, that doesn't get recognized and everything because most Latinos, right, that contribute to America were the white types, you know, and they try to assimilate with being white, you know. So you can't have it both ways. Black people are visibly black, you know, and the race of Latinos normally deny racism against them until you see some old white lady. You see those TikTok videos talking about you go back across the border. Oh my God, you're racist. Well, you moved into a white suburb thinking you're gonna get the white treatment and whatnot. And when some of the old white people are like, nah, I remember you when you guys just pick fruit and you ain't white. And when they get reminded that they're not white, suddenly they're all about us people of color, us Latinos and everything. You know, you can't have it both ways. Like Latinos, said that guy Nemours, the guy played Nemours in Wakanda Forever. They said, well, he doesn't represent Latinos because he's too dark. Remember that? They're like, oh, he's too dark. You know, he was like an indigenous Mayan, you know. But so they have a lot of I'm not even worried about because they got to work out their self-hate issues, you know. They got to work. We're in a better position because we're still racially homogenous, you know. We're still black. Black African Americans are the most homogeneous group of people on the planet. You know, we're more homogeneous than anybody else. We have the same culture, same race, same bloodline for the most part and everything. Our homogeneity is our strength, you know, in Black America. That's our homogeneity. And then the Africans, the Caribbeans that assimilated with us, they're part of this great Black America, African American culture. I consider Caribbeans who were born here, raised here, who assimilated with Black people as African Americans. You know, I consider anybody that embraces the Black struggle and the Black cause in America as an African American, as far as I'm concerned. You know, I don't be like, oh, he came from your great grandfather was born in, like they were Roland Martin. Roland Martin's African American, as far as I'm concerned. Then Tariq tried to say his great great grandfather came from Haiti. Hold the fuck out. Who cares? You know, I could have a Caribbean ancestor for all I know. You know, I don't know. You know, I could have somebody that came from Barbados and when I did ship to Georgia or North Carolina. How do I know? You know, so what, I'm going to have an African American anymore? Well, that's stupid stuff. Black power means black people, you know, whether you're Caribbean, African American, whatever you like that, working together to achieve what? Black power. That's what black power is. AOS FBA has nothing to do with black power. That's white zaddy tethered to white supremacy, tethered to the white man's constitution, the white man's way of life and everything. That's all that's about. You know, the black power nation building towards Pan-Africanism, right? Remember something. A successful black family is part of the Pan-African struggle. If you see a black man with a family, he's out with his kids and whatnot, you ought to salute that brother, you know, and say, brother, beautiful family. I do it all the time. Beautiful family you got there. Oh, thank you, man. Loading his kids up in the car. You know, they get ready to go out with his wife and everything, kids and whatnot. And they're saying, why this guy over here all smiling and cheesing and whatnot, you know? And they have no idea how happy I am when I see that, you know? That's part of the black nation. That black man with that black woman and those black children, you know? That's part of the black society. That person could be a Nigerian. He could be a Jamaican. He could be an African American. He could be from New York. He could be from Chicago and everything. When I see a black family, a black man raised in a black family, a black household, bro, that's how we get strength. No other way. All the schemes and everything like that, investments, none of that shit's going to work until we start having black power, black family. Starts with black love between a black man and a black woman. No other way is going to work. When we get back to that, that's why you think the Latinos are going. Why? Because, you know, they one thing they have is their family structure. You see young Latino guys, Mexican guys, so you can't speak a lick of English, but they got their families out there. You got their little wives out there. They're in their late 20s and they got 3 or 4 kids and whatnot. You know, they're going to the playground and Virginia Beach, when we got these Latinos moving out here, boy, they know how to turn it up, man. They have their little fiestas out there with their piñatas and everything. They're having a good time. I'm sitting over there in the cut like, man, boy, they're having a good. They have that Mexican music going and everything, but they understand. And all these guys right here, they probably work together when they've got contractors and everything like that. That's how you survive, you know, through family, through love, through building a culture. That's where the culture is, in the family. You know what I'm saying? What's the black culture? You don't have a black culture if you don't have a black family structure. If you don't have cousins, aunties, everybody getting together. I ain't talking about just fam to land people, you know. I'm talking about people who commune together, you know. When you at family gatherings and whatnot, you know, it should be about, okay, next year we come there. Oh, yeah, I said I was going to do this year. Oh, yeah, I did that. Yeah, next year, everybody just bring, oh, what you do? What you do this year? Yeah, you know, I got a raise on the job. I got a promotion, everything. Oh, yeah, it's good and everything. People sharing good things, good times with that. And that keeps people in line because you know when you don't want to get around your family and whatnot and you fucking up. And if you're around a family that has that pookies and stuff like that and anything goes and everything, you don't see a father figure, a patriarch. You don't see the mother, matriarch and everything. You don't see people, uncles and everybody around and everything. You don't have a real family. Real family is a balance. You can go to any family, right? A Mexican family, Chinese family. There's going to be, in a real black family, there's going to be people, okay, that's like my uncle such and such, right? Oh, she reminds me of auntie such and such. In every culture. That's when you have balance. And that's what the beauty of family structure is. You can't build a society and everything without the family structure. You know, so when we start building those families again and everything, and that's why I say when people talk about going to Africa and everything, and they have no family structure, they have no sense of community, and they go into a place that's all about family and everything, and think they're just going to fit in. You don't work like that. When you go to Liberia, Ghana, those places, these people got their families and everything like that. You know, they got their stuff like that. Whatever you think they had, you may call them poor, whatever like that, but they got that family structure and everything. They got love. They got that sense of belonging and everything. If you don't have that and everything, you ain't gonna survive, and you can't survive in America. You definitely ain't gonna survive in Africa. You know, that's how black power is a thing. And all of a sudden, you always have people that's the elder, that's wise, and you know, that says things and everything. You got people. My family went out. We had family gatherings. You know, we would talk about Garvey. We would talk about Malcolm X. We talk about this. You learn so much. Yeah, you know, I remember one time he had this, that, you know, thing. Remember the 8 trades? Remember this, that, and the other thing? the memories and the community and everything like that. That's important. You know, my family's big on family reunions and stuff like that. It's big. You know, it's big. You know, family gatherings and everything like that. You know, my brother's house, my house, everything. Family events and everything like that is everything. Wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. You don't have families and everything like that. You know, you have families and people that's around you and love and everything like that. You really have nothing. And that's how they weakened Black America. Well, not them. We weakened ourselves. We didn't think family and all that was important anymore. We thought freaknik was important. We think running the clubs is important. We think having 4 and 5 baby daddies is important. So then now you got a lot of sisters with 3 and 4 kids, you know, running to the African continent, thinking that's going to solve something. You can't run. You can run, but you can't hide. So let me find some of your videos, Bomani.
Yeah, go ahead and send them to me.
Yeah, I want to find this one specific one. I can't find this one, but it was from like 10 years ago. Black movement, Black power couple. Let me see. Part 1. I mean, I think this is a couple right here, but this is what I'm looking for was like 13 years ago. And I think it's the same couple. I'm trying to find this thing.
They're gonna we'll pause for a slideshow break or something. So
Yeah,
family,
yeah.
the link is here to join us for those who want to join or be on standby once we finish this video. Let me see some comments. All right. All right, so family, post some relevant comments in reference to our topic so we can read them and share and analyze them. So we're talking about Black Power economics, Pan-Africanism, and this building that recipe for nation building. So that's the move, family. That is the move. The move is to build these communities, these towns, build Black African infrastructure, build all aspects of business and life, and compete with the rest of the world. So it's a flow of energy. Now join us. And as you're looking at the website right there, that's some of the nice meals. You ask me what we eat in Africa. You know, we always have some incredible gourmet meals for you. You know, we specialize in fine dining. This family is 17 years strong in history and energy. I'm telling you, once we get more and more strong energy to do more of these investments in Africa, you see the scope of things change. But for now, you know, we're behind the game. So that's what we're pushing when you see that big banner of Pan-Africanism towards nationhood. All right, Kali, must be on a super search.
Yeah, man. Like I said, the one I'm looking for was I can't find. I sent you one about the Black movement, but I wanted to show that one where they were talking about they're interviewing a couple and they had got a pushback for buy Black and whatnot, you know. And I can't find that one, so if it comes across, I'll but I sent you that one video, and also I'm sending you Soul City. I bet you anybody money when people talk about we chose to integrate and everything, but they don't know about there was a movement for Black people to try to build their own towns and everything. But the Soul City project, this was a prototype to spread throughout the country. Which Black people right now, instead of us living in white suburbs and whatnot, we would have economic power, right? Black-owned businesses with their own stock markets and everything like that in majority black towns. You know, that was a Soul City project, right? But it was sabotaged by civil rights people and integrationists, you know? So I sent you that video. You know, I sent you that video. So people start talking this, black people didn't do nothing. We just sat on our ass, didn't do nothing. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that shit, you know? Black people didn't do nothing, whatnot, you know? Everything we do is sabotage, you know, from within and without. You know, so we didn't do nothing or whatnot, you know? I'm sick and tired of hearing that shit.
So yes, my brother, got them loaded up. Is anything else you want to load up?
I'm gonna find some more. I'm gonna find some more. People, I see people love our videos, man. They love when we have our videos.
Yes, family. All right, so brother, here we go. Soul City or Buy Black?
Play Buy Black first, then we play Soul City. Soul City's gonna trigger a lot of people. I know that, so I don't want to rush it. I want to be able to commentary on after that. People are gonna be triggered by that one.
The Black Lives Matter protests over the summer were initially aimed at exposing inequalities in our system. Well, one of the issues that marchers often brought up was the lack of Black business ownership and how those ripple effects have helped cause disproportionate poverty. Calls were made to support Black businesses, and as Alex Prochet reports, it appears to be making a difference.
Washington, D.C.'s Union Market neighborhood is bustling. Many in the lunch crowd here are looking for that afternoon pick-me-up to help finish the day. And the Village Cafe is a place a lot of them come. It's run by a trio of young founders, Ryan Williams, Kevon King, and Mohammed Mangum, all buddies from high school. They're about to celebrate the cafe's second anniversary. It's a combination of culinary and creative strengths. As the name suggests, the Village is about community.
We all had our own different passions, but we decided to come together to kind of not only start a business together, but create spaces for us and for others.
COVID threatened to spoil that. Like many DC businesses, they had to close earlier this year, only reopening in August. The Village has always had a stable following, but when they reopened, they noticed a new community awareness, specifically in Black-owned businesses like theirs.
It's a really amazing thing, actually, to be able to see that, you know, people are taking initiatives to want to support businesses. And a lot of times these are like brand new people who have never been, especially with us, or have heard of us, and then they learn about us.
Black Lives Matter.
Following a summer full of national headlines around George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Black Lives Matter, and the coronavirus, a new movement emerged called Buy Black, highlighting Black-owned businesses and giving them much-needed support. According to the latest statistics from the U.S. Census Bureau's annual business survey, minorities own an estimated 1 million businesses in the U.S. Of those, just 12% were Black-owned. And according to Yelp, mentions of Black-owned in reviews are up 617% this summer compared to last.
Consumers are eager to seek out, find, and support Black-owned businesses.
Tara Lewis is a Yelp trends expert.
In fact, just this past summer, on Yelp, we noticed a 6,520% increase in searches for Black-owned businesses.
Looking at those numbers, I mean, what does that tell you?
It tells you that people are really interested in putting their dollars where their values are and what they care about the most. If they have a choice to spend at multiple different places, and right now that they really want to support the Black community, supporting Black-owned businesses with your dollars is a great way to do that.
Websites like Yelp, DoorDash, and Facebook even highlighting Black-owned shops. In nearby Virginia, Tracy and Ernisha Hall see the impact of this firsthand regularly. They run the Virginia Black Business Directory.
It's been an amazing wave. And I will say that some of these business owners, they were on the brink of closure, and many of them have not seen numbers that they have seen in the past due to Buy Black, the wave of Buy Black.
Earlier this month, they hosted a Black Business Expo at the Fredericksburg Fairgrounds. More than 100 participants, socially distanced and wearing masks. Why was it important for these businesses to be able to come out and have that face-to-face with folks in the community?
It was important because a lot of these businesses did not get the economic assistance that they needed when COVID hit.
Many struggled to get relief from the Paycheck Protection Program. That dried up in August. Congress has stalled on talks of additional stimulus, but the damage has already been done. The New York Fed estimates Black-owned businesses in the U.S. declined 41% between February and April. Ernisha and Tracy were fortunate their graphic design website branding company wasn't part of that statistic.
We lost 90% of our revenue during COVID. We did not receive economic assistance to keep us afloat. However, we've been blessed to stay afloat. So Buy Black was a way to ensure that Black-owned businesses and Black communities and Black families still receive the same amount of revenue, treatment, and be able to have the same level of success.
The duo put together a restaurant week last month and plan to keep these kinds of events going.
I love the momentum. I'm glad it's lasting this long.
And while this movement is providing much needed exposure for some businesses struggling through the challenges of the coronavirus, it's also made fertile ground for others to begin.
Baking is kind of like a labor of love for me.
Kiara Ben owns Willie Ruth's Cookies, a passion project turned side hustle. It's named after her grandmother. She grew up spending summers with in rural Louisiana. That's where she gets a lot of her recipes from, including these red velvet cookies. Kiara has been in business since the end of July. You started a business smack dab in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
And they will scratch their head
and say, what was she thinking? But again, I say, why not now?
Kiara recently went to her first Black Business Expo.
People walking through the door actually calling me the cookie lady.
She says she's seen a sizable bump in orders because of the Buy Black movement. Right now, she's still baking out of her own kitchen, but she says this kind of growth will allow her business to expand. She's already cooking up new ideas for the holidays.
I'm definitely excited, and I'm excited to introduce some new seasonal flavors. But we're going to have a pumpkin spice latte cookie, an apple pie cookie, a peppermint chocolate cookie for the holidays.
And for the businesses we talk to, the general sense is this momentum will continue. The Buy Black movement may have started brewing this year, but they don't see it going anywhere.
We believe that this interest in supporting Black-owned businesses is much more than a trend, and it's a movement, and it's one that's going to continue for a long time.
Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more
Now, doesn't that make you feel good, Bomani? Black businesses, Buy Black said, man, I went up 600%. Black people are ready, Don't listen to these fools on YouTube. Black people are ready for a revolution. We're ready for that. But just they don't have any real guidance out there. They have nobody leading them. That's what I humbly want to try to provide, Buy Black is very, very essential. If you're talking, don't talk to me about Pan-Africanism if you don't believe in buying Black and you don't believe in Black power, Black empowerment and everything. So there's sisters and that young women out there making money. I see it all the time in Virginia, man. Black businesses are thriving. It's just all over the place. Black people got a lot of money and everything. And social media and apps and everything like that is making it easy to get money from one Black person to another because we're not bound in certain areas. The internet has made it possible for somebody in California to buy from somebody in New York and stuff like that under this Black power thing. We got to keep this momentum going up because we cannot talk about building Africa going there empty-handed. We got to come there we got businesses, we got business networks, we got everything set up in America. Building Black power base in America is going to be essential in building Black power nation building in Africa. I don't know what part to tell you that. People, you cannot talk about going to Africa and you have not tried and get it where the money's at here in America first. And so, like I said, you see these sisters out here, these young brothers out here saying that businesses, these are young people, millennials, Gen Zs who are doing this. Nobody told them about failure. They said, we're going to try it and everything like that. And they're doing it during COVID. So I don't want to hear anything about what we can't do and everything. When you have that, when you start building in America and you're constantly around Black people that's successful and you're successful in everything, you're gonna have the confidence to go anywhere in the world and conquer. You're gonna be like our ancestors did. Our ancestors were not cowards; they were not doubters. And so that's what we're talking about tonight. Talk about that. What do you think about that video point? Didn't that pick your spirits up a little bit?
Absolutely. That's the way to do it, brother. That's what we always push. I mean, that's how we're gonna build this global black business pipeline.
Yeah, like I said, I ordered DoorDash. I never remember seeing anything say black owned. Maybe you got to look for it, you know.
I mean, I'm sure
you got to put it in
those
the search
things
engine.
worked out. Like you go to some supermarkets, but I mean, it's not gonna be a wide variety. I mean, you're gonna be limited. So that's why you have to push. You know, we have to push our own networks.
Yeah, that's what I said. We have to have our own networks. You know, but I commend DoorDash and all of them for flagging that. You know. Like I commend them for that, you know. That's a help, you know, because a lot of people are ordering stuff through online, through apps and stuff like that, you know. So if they're flagging and the algorithms pushing black-owned businesses, that's a good thing. I support that 100%. Everything. All right, now this video is about Soul City. You know, people want to ask, "Oh, why do we integrate and everything?" Well, ask Andrew Young and all those other people why they were against Floyd McKenzie, you know, a congressman from New York, where he said, "Man, we could build infrastructure in the South, man, you know, and we could start migrating." And black people end up migrating back to the South anyway. You know, people say, "Oh, people don't want to live in the South." What happened in the '90s? People start going to the South anyway, right?
Right.
But instead of going to these black communities that they were planning on building 2 decades earlier, we go into the white areas, white suburbs and everything in the South, you know. You know, I think most of the black middle class in America are now living in suburbs and mixed race suburbs and everything. You know, we don't live in like majority black communities. We have this one community, we have several nice all black communities here in Virginia, you know. We have this place called Crystal Lake. This place was one of my clients, her husband built most of the houses. They're all like mini mansions. I said it's an all black neighborhood, right? And all the houses like friggin' now worth like at least $800 or $1 million. You know, he built it back in the late '70s, early '80s. This guy was a carpenter. He was a minister and everything. He was a builder. And I saw his pictures. Family, he had like around 10 kids and everything like that. His sons are all successful. Daughters all married off on it. They're in the military. Everything really nice family. So, but Crystal Lake is so freaking nice in Portsmouth. It's in Portsmouth, Virginia. Crystal Lake. That is a nice community. It's right next to Cavalier Manor, right, which is like a working middle class black community. But Crystal Lake is like the where all the black professors live, where all the black doctors live. Everything real nice, all black community. You know, right here in Portsmouth. You know, I like going out there. Crystal Lake rivals any community in Chesapeake and Virginia Beach, you know, as far as like everything. You see the way these houses are designed, really nice, you know, brick houses and everything like that, mansions and everything, nice yards and everything, backyards. They got backyards with pools and everything like that. This is where where black people, black elite, built their own enclave, you know. So don't tell me stuff like, "Wow, we all moved to the white community," or that. That's a lie. You know, I'm sick of people lying on my people. So go ahead and play that, brother.
Born in Asheville, North Carolina in 1922, Floyd McKissick Sr. became one of 4 black men to be the first African Americans to gain admittance to UNC Chapel Hill's School of Law. He did so after joining a successful lawsuit against UNC in 1951. McKissick served as the National Executive Director of the Congress on Racial Equality in the 1960s. And in the 1970s, he broke ground on a planned community on 1,800 acres of land in rural eastern North Carolina, which he named Soul City. McKissick lived in Soul City until his death in 1991.
Black people want to have the choice to live where they want to.
A Negro leader today announced plans for creation of a black-built, black-owned town to be called Soul City in North Carolina.
In this new town, persons will be able to control their own destinies.
Seeing this whole thing being transformed was the most liberating thing I've ever experienced in my lifetime.
Affordable housing, people were going to get jobs. That's what made sense back then. We thought we had a very good plan in place. The question then was how we could execute any of it. even as President Nixon on down were trying to make a case that they were very supportive. On the ground, we didn't have the dollars.
There was a discomfort level for many people who were not African American. I mean, let's be real. The boss is a black guy.
Senator Helms responded saying, one of my first acts is going to be to try to close you down.
I can't help to think that that's politically motivated and possibly racially motivated.
We're here. We did it. Stop talking about it. This is going to work. The city's coming.
In this new town, persons will be able to control their own destinies.
Floyd McKissick left Harlem to create his vision of Black power in the rural South.
Affordable housing, health care, people were going to get jobs. We thought we had a very good plan in place. The question then was how we could execute any of it.
Building is empowering. I want to be a part of building something new. That was the dream for me, to be a piece of this, because we wanted to be transformed.
But not everyone supported the radical project.
Senator Helms responded, one of my first acts is going to be to try to close you down.
I mean, let's be real. The boss is a black guy.
There are some folk who don't believe that a black man could do it or should be doing it.
For thousands of years, people have traveled through Warren County on the ancient beaten road called the Indian Trading Path. This road, which bisected the county and state of North Carolina from northeast to southwest, was a well-worn and marked footpath for trade, predecessor to the modern paved Interstate 85 that somewhat follows the old trail today. I think that the interesting thing is that there were many paths in a way. And this is what is really known as the Great Trading Path, in that it was heavily used into the historic period. And I think that it helped open up not only North Carolina, the central part of North Carolina to settlement, but it helped open up the entire country along the same lines. By the 1670s, European traders carried gunpowder, shotgun guns, iron tools and kettles, blankets, and brass, copper, and glass beads into the wilderness of North Carolina, with horse trains numbering into the hundreds, each packed with goods. All that remains of the ancient trail are the modern highways and many historical markers, including the marker on US 1 in Norlina, erected in 1941 to preserve the memory of the ancient Indian trading path.
Rail transportation began in Warren County in 1840 upon the completion of the Raleigh and Gaston Railroad. Warrenton was a proposed location for the railroad, but the townspeople rejected it. And the reason it was chosen as a possible location is because it was the largest town between Raleigh and Gaston. Later, the townspeople regretted their decision, and a short line railroad was put between Warren Plains and Warrenton, and it was 3 miles long, and it was supposedly the shortest full-gauge railroad in the world. Upon the completion of the Raleigh and Gaston Railroad, in the next few decades, train depots were put in Macon, Warren Plains, Ridgeway, and Manson.
Well, Dr. Hawkins, after he graduated from medical school in 1845, purchased a tract of land and started building his estate in Ridgeway, adjacent to the railroad tracks, because he saw the importance of the railroad and knew that he wanted to be part of it. And eventually he did become a very important part of it.
first members of the train was when I was going to Ridgeway School, and they had the first steam engine came through, and the school closed and took all us up to the railroad to the highway so we could see the train go through. And that little train at that time, we could catch it and go to Manson, wherever, and stop anywhere, just like a bus.
My father was a sharecropper, and when they started the railroad through Warren County through North Carolina, they got jobs. My father quit work on the farm at age 12 and started working for the Seaboard Railway. He had 5 sons altogether, and all 5 sons worked for the railway. One was an engineer, one was a cook, a chef, and 2 were bridgemen. And they all retired except one uncle, the one is chef.
Rapidly, North Carolina began to grow. New commercial businesses popped up near the railroad line. And in 1913, the town was incorporated. In the 1920s,
Carla, can you hear the sound? No, I mean, I stopped playing it, but
Yeah, I can hear it, but it's a little low, but I can hear it. Interesting history. I'm like, wow.
Cool. Let me continue. Just want to make sure everything sounds good. Yeah.
US 1 was completed through Warren County, and this put a new boom into North Carolina area because now commercial businesses were built along the new highway of US 1 along with a new hotel. The railroad continued to boom in North Carolina until after World War II. By World War II, North Carolina was a very busy depot because there was dozens of troop trains going through the town every day. At this time, North Carolina had a freight yard, switcher engines, and the round table. After World War II, the railroads all over the country began to decline, including the ones going through North Carolina. By the 1950s, North Carolina has a devastating blow because the switching yard is changed from North Carolina to Raleigh.
I was coming from California in 47, and from California to Chicago, it was integrated. Then when we got to Chicago, we saw a little change. When we got to Washington, D.C., it was a total change. Absolutely. And when we got to Washington, the only thing the conductor would say, okay, look at your ticket. He said, track 1, car 5. If a white person come up, he said, track 1, car 6, or something like that.
Of course, we sat generally one car behind the mail car, and we caught all the soot and the debris from the engine. That's when they had the coal-fired engine.
The conductor, which always was white, he would get out with a stool at the white car. The porter would get out with a stool where the black people live. And then the conductor would get the tickets in the white car, and then the porter would come in and say, get your tickets ready, get your tickets ready. And then the conductor would come through the black car.
In the 1960s, North Carolina takes a devastating blow because Interstate 85 is completed. This means the heavy volume of traffic that was on US 1 was diverted to the new interstate, so commercial businesses along that highway started a slow decline, including the service stations, hotel, and other commercial businesses.
The black man thought that he could go to the city and would be accepted with open arms because the slogan has been, go north. This is where the opportunities were. So he left the farming area and he went north, and he found that if he went there in great numbers, that the white people really didn't want it. And actually, the white people moved out to the suburbs, and now the cities have become all black. And so black people have been running and chasing whites from one locality to the other. I think it's time that we quit chasing whites, quit trying to be like whites, come right back to the land where we started from and really start building and build an economy. We can build an economy on this land.
It looks as if it's business as usual in the Old South. A plantation, a decaying old mansion, harvesting time in the tobacco fields. But now there's a difference. Amid these reminders of another age, there is a drastic change underway on this land. This is to be the site of a bold new experiment. On this property, formerly a plantation, a new city will rise. A city inspired and controlled by blacks. It is Soul City, situated in Warren County, North Carolina. The guiding light behind the project is Floyd McKissick, well known nationally for his years of struggle in the civil rights movement.
As far as you can see around here, we own. This is where Soul City will rise into its own. Right now, we got a population of 56 people. We started off in January with 1. In about 17 years, 50,000 people will live in this town, and we'll have industry, medical services. We'll have anything comparable to what other cities have without the manifest problems that the major metropolitan areas have today. The truth of the matter is the problem starts here, and the problem is merely identified by a process of migration to the big urban centers in New York, Boston, Chicago, and etc. But this is the highest point of migration in North Carolina to the city. And until we say, look, we're going to start solving the problem here, then we'll never solve the problem in the cities.
In December of 1969, Floyd McKissick Sr., former national civil rights leader and attorney, bought over 5,000 acres of land for Soul City, of which he became the founder and developer. Soul City, funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, was designed to promote self-help, empowerment, and community economic development. Its centralized location was ideal, halfway between New York and Atlanta, only a couple of miles from Interstate 85, and the Seaboard Coastline Railroad ran through the property. The area currently houses the largest employer in Warren County.
Excellent, brother man. Excellent. Abandoned City, Soul City.
What would that do to have honorable men like Dr. McKissick nowadays, you know? What we do, we have an honorable man like that nowadays. You know, we don't have men like that anymore. We have clowns. Cordia, you see Al Sharpton doing his dance, you know, James Brown?
It never, yeah, absolutely.
That's up now. He's going viral video. He's doing these James Brown dances and whatnot, you know? That's what we have right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what we have right now. We don't have men like Floyd McKissick. He was a visionary. And bottom line is this: had Jesse Helms and all of them, Andrew Young, you know, had not tried to sabotage that, right? Black people moving to the South anyway. You know, they're moving to the South anyway. So that city would have been booming right now. You know, it's strategically located. That would have been a booming black city, all black city, own city, right now. And we sit here and complain about gentrification and we don't have this and we don't have that, you know, and we have visionaries that was out there in the past and we turn our backs on them, you know, and we talk about we want black power. You know, we want black power. Shut your mouth. Keep black power out your mouth. I bet you most people never heard of Soul City. That's the saddest part about all this. People don't know about this beautiful history, you know, that we had people, leaders, and doing so. They don't know their own history. You know, they don't know anything about their own history and what our people went through and what happened. So how you going? If you don't know the past, how you gonna know? And now, yeah, most black people don't even identify with their history. You know, they don't even identify with their history. They don't say, yeah, look, you know, let's build on this. This is what our ancestors did. This is what the past did. So, and they want to sit back and sit and lecture us about what we should do. And they have no reference. You know, everything I talk about, I've known about Soul City for years, right? Everything I talk about. What he talked about, building what? Infrastructure, you know? You know, you have to, when you build something, you have to give people the amenities, all stuff like this, and then they will come. You know, and that's what you have to do. You know, so those of you who keep opposing us and everything, we're going to do the same thing when we go to the continent. You know, we're going to build cities like this. You know, same thing, same model. You know, that's what we're going to do. You guys can oppose us all you want. That's exactly what's going to happen. You know, that's exactly what's going to happen. So, like I said, it's in our DNA to build towns and build cities and everything. It's in us. You know, there's one city that was built in Mississippi that was real successful, right? White people tried to burn it down. They did burn some of the businesses down. All the town was black and everything. They had a hospital. They had everything. They had an auditorium. They had everything, you know, baseball field, everything in Mississippi. They said, look, man, we're just here. Leave us the fuck alone, everything. And they got criticized by the same stupid-ass immigration civil rights people for separatism, you know? And the same black people get in Congress, right, try to undermine these self-help and self-black power movements and stuff. And then when the white man does a slick thing. He makes the loud, violent people the face of the black power movement. Well, Floyd McKissick was black power back then. But I'm not throwing shade at Huey Newton and all these other people, Evans Cleaver. But you know about Huey Newton, you know about Elizabeth Cleaver, right? You know about Bobby Seale. But how many people know about Floyd McKissick? You know, no, you don't. And any reason why that's it? Afriktown, Alabama. That's another place that's pretty good. You know, that's up and coming. You know, Dr. Claude Anderson. I never heard Dr. Claude mention Floyd McKissick. I never heard him. Maybe he did. You know, I don't know. But the whole thing is this: people, the people who call themselves ADOS, FBA, Foundational America. How come they don't fucking talk about this? How come they don't talk about building, rebuilding black towns and cities and everything? If you say this is your country and everything like that, why don't you have any towns? Where's your towns? How come you're not supporting them? How come you're not visiting them? How come you're not doing all that stuff like this? You're a bunch of hypocrites. You're just frightened and terrified of the Pan-African movement, right? But yet the Pan-African movement supports black towns in America because that's part of the Afrikstan. That's part of the black family structure and everything. If you about building black power and everything, you are part of the global black Afrikstan, whether you in Africa, whether you're in America. That's what it's all about. So if you want to build in America and everything like that, and you're serious about building America, hey, I support you. I support anything that has to do with black power and black empowerment. I support the black movement. I support black businesses. I support black townships and black everything, you know. And I also support black people building repatriation communities in Africa. Is that hard to understand? So what's there to argue about now? You know, I got all the bases covered. You say you want to be in America and you're American and everything like that, but you haven't lifted a finger to say, you know something, let's revisit Soul City. You know, let's talk about Edenton, North Carolina. Let's talk about these people, the Delta region of Mississippi, where black people got so much land and everything, they don't know what to do with. And the bottom line, that can solve a lot of economic problems. We built economic infrastructure and stuff like that, build homes and housing and everything, and build black families again. You got to build black families. You know, back then it was easy to build black towns because we had black families. You know, so miss me with all that. So nobody wants to call in and talk, man. What is this? You know, we're all these big mouths that always comment tomorrow. They'll be commenting in the comment section. Everything. Come on the line and talk to us. Come on the line and debate college genesis. You know, come on to the mind. Tell me what's on your mind. You know, call in. You know, we're looking for men. You know, I want men. You know, I'm sick of dealing with sissies and cowards and whatnot. You know, you go to these little softball channels and whatnot. The whole panel's full and everything. On here, everybody's scared to talk to Bomani and Colin. You know, hey, I understand. You know, I'm an intimidating guy. You know, I understand that. You know, but you can call in. I'm not gonna reach you to the computer and strangle you or something like that. I can't punch you through the computer screen. You know, don't get mad at college. Don't get scared of college genesis, man. Stand up like a man and call in. Tell me what's on your mind. You know, call in, folks. Call in. I know you guys are out there. You know, what do you have to say? How can you talk about black people and you don't believe in black power? You know, you don't believe in black self-determination. You saw this honorable man, Floyd McKenzie. He said, yeah, after years of studying and being educated, you know, black power and black economics and everything is the way to go. Don't worry, white people understand. White people perfectly understand. You know, it's innately for black people to have this. Even with Gary, Indiana at one time, white people pulled their capital out, destroyed Gary, Indiana, but they understood that black people had a legitimate desire to have some sort of black power in America. Having black power means controlling your own destiny, controlling your own infrastructure, controlling your own businesses. You know, and you could do that in America. But we were taught that if you have black power in America, that's a threat to integration. Integration means white supremacy and white people and black people living as colorblind stuff. The only people that fall for that colorblind stuff is you. White people aren't colorblind. The first thing they look at when they go to an area is how many white people are there, how many black people are there. Oh, it's too many black people there. Oh, I can't. Oh, no. Black people, we don't care about that. So let's be with all that foolishness.
Or color that don't want to come on, but the floor is yours. And we can also cut it short when you're ready. It's all good.
I could go all night. You know, I'm ready.
We can
I can go at least another 2 hours. You know, shoot. You know what I got to do. You know, I'm gonna find some more videos to play, you know, to make my point. We have to have black power. You know, if you're not on a black power tip, you don't believe in black power and black families and black unity and unity between black man and black woman, then you don't belong in this movement. You know, black businesses and everything. I want to know, why is it that you got people talking about Pan-Africanism and they don't talk about supporting black businesses in Africa and stuff like that? I want to know. You know, we talk about Pan-African. You can't talk about Pan-Africanism and you don't have any you don't believe in black people should buy black and stuff like that. Give your thoughts and views on communities, Uncle Tom leaders. Well, the thing is about black people, right? The Uncle Tom leaders that sabotage us are not chosen by us. Black people have to. One thing black people have to stop doing is getting emotional and thinking everything that we have to comment on. You know, when you see a so-called leader, a black leader is somebody that gets invited on MSNBC. Oh, that's a black leader. Why? Because your white man puts them up there. White people choose black leaders. There's no such thing as a black leader. You know, a black leader is somebody that gets on MSNBC, Fox, or whatever, and they say, oh, he got a new book out and everything. And you just say, okay, I guess he's a black leader. You know, and you don't even question, does he have your values? Does this leader have your values? Does he believe it? If a black leader has to be more than somebody who talks about racism and white supremacy and police shootings, stuff like that, that's not a black leader. A black leader is an example. He lives as an example. You know, he's in the community. You know, he has business networks and everything. A lot of so-called black people who are actually doing work in the community you don't know about because they're not on social media. They're not invited on MSNBC. They don't got a huge YouTube channel. They're just out there doing the things that need to be done, and they're not looking for fame and all the stuff like this. They're just quietly doing the work. They don't care about being on television. Old Ola said Pan-Africans are scammers. Well, Ola can say whatever he wants. Ola can go to hell for all I care. Pan-Africans are scammers. I seriously doubt anybody who's a real Pan-African is a scammer. We got fake Pan-Africans, right, who use Pan-African rhetoric, right, to boost themselves up, to boost their ego and get money and stuff like that. But I'm like this: if you're not a made guy in the Pan-African world, if I haven't really bonded with you, that's what it really comes down to, right? Bomani and I are the ones that really will tell you who we think is real and who's not. If you're talking about, you got a lot of people who are just fucking blood-sucking capitalists, right? And the Pan-African movement seems like it's another come-up for them. That don't make them a Pan-Africanist. Going to Africa and all the stuff like this, it doesn't make you a Pan-Africanist. If you don't believe in black unity, black love, and black power, you ain't a real Pan-Africanist. If you don't believe in your people, you don't know your history, and you don't know what your people are capable of and everything like that, and you just got a negative view about your people, you ain't a real Pan-Africanist. So the Pan-African movement, unfortunately, because of YouTube and Twitter and stuff like this, has gotten a bad name. We're trying to hold the line and tell us that, yeah, look, this is rooted in a culture of success and black excellence. That's what we believe in, black excellence. If you're not about black excellence and black building and black, continuity and whatnot, the Pan-African world is just a joke. And so, like I said, supporting black businesses, supporting black families, supporting black culture and everything, and basically making sure that, that our name, our people aren't constantly being slandered and everything. Everybody in the world has a negative view of Black America, and we allow that to happen. When you're in a movement, you have to be a warrior for your people. You have to defend your people. You have to check your people, like I do. I check my people all the time. When you're wrong, you're wrong. I'll tell you when you're wrong. At the same time, I don't let other people come into our community and try to use the wrongness in our community to taint a whole entire community. That's somebody who's a leader, who's somebody who supports and builds with his people. I'm never going to get online and start letting people take shots at Black America. That's where I come from. And I'm not going to let people take shots at our Pan-African history, our motherland. So, again, miss me with all that nonsense. Miss me with all nonsense. But we have people like Afrik Dumbass, who's out there talking about, oh, Bomani, come to, I'll see you next time you're going on. I guess he's doing that something great to brother Bomani. Let me tell you something, Afrik Dumbass. I know you're listening.
There you go.
Bro, I'm going to tell you right now, Bomani is a made guy in this movement. He's untouchable. If you think for a second that you're going to step to Bomani without having an army after you, you're sadly mistaken. And Afrik Dumbass, right? Why don't you tell us where you live at in America? That's a ghostly guard secret. Where does he live at in America? Everybody knows where I live. You can come to Virginia Beach. You can find me. Because I fear no man. If anybody wanted to get in touch with me and see me face to face, you just tell me anything and I'll make it happen. But I'm not a coward that sits online taking shots at Black people in America, my people in America. All he does. And another thing, all these people, like the people online, right, that keep taking shots at Black America, they can never build an audience, right? Can Afrik Dumbass build an audience with his Gambian people? No. His audience are people he triggers all the time in Black America. He can't talk about anything else, right? None of these people can do a show or anything goes to Africa because nobody really cares, For what the only way you can make money on YouTube is by talking about Black American politics, Black American issues, socialism, everything. That's the only way they can make money. Or constantly trying to berate Black America or every little thing. None of these people can do anything online, right? That can help their own people. We have child sex trafficking in the Gambia. What has Afro dumbass talked about that? But he talks about the blacks. So he doesn't believe in blackness. He's black as the ace of spades, but he doesn't believe he's black. Oh, this black on my face, I'm not really black, I'm really a white man. We're all really one color under the skin and whatnot. That's what he believes. The Black Power movement grew out of America, the American racism, American segregation, and stuff like that. That's who we are, and I'm not going to apologize for that. The reason why we talk the way we do and we're so conscious about race and everything, because what we've been through in America. And the bottom line is the reason why Africa is poor is because of race. The Europeans fundamentally see Africa as a threat. That's why you got the Russians and the U.S., right, having a proxy war going on in Sudan. Yeah, I know Afro dumbass is jealous. You're jealous because our women don't want nothing to do with them. African American, black women in America are the most beautiful women in the world. They don't want nothing to do with them. They don't even want nothing to do to most of us, to be honest with you. But the bottom line is this. So he's jealous of black America. We're everywhere. Every time he turns on the TV, we're everywhere. And that must pain him. He thinks, oh, immigrants are going to take over America and American culture and everything is going to be erased. And there's going to be some new American with him and all these stupid failures in Africa that came to America, can't go back to their country, is going to rewrite American culture and history. That's not going to happen, bro. America is a white Anglo-Saxon country and black African American. That's what America is. Latinos are on the side, Asians on the side. It's about black people and white people, and you got to choose a side. Now you in America want to come here and bootlick. We're not going to bootlick the white people. We're not going to do that. As you see in that video, we helped build these towns in North Carolina and everything. We helped build this country and everything like that. So we don't owe white people anything. We're not going to get out and bootlick white people to make them happy and just shut up. Just shut up. We're succeeding and we're still talking about the shit we go through. Anytime a black man makes it in America, right, we got to friggin' feel like we got to get down on our hands and knees and thank the white man. Get the hell out of here. It was the grace, the strength of Almighty God and our perseverance that made it happen for us in America. Any success we have in America is because we did that and with the help of Almighty God, not the white man. There's this myth going around that the white man built America. You have where we have America. No, we did this because we built what we built in America. I was reared around strong black men. You know, my business success because of my father and my grandfather. These great black men and whatnot. You know. So I'm not gonna sit here and let somebody coming off the friggin' boat or some nasty ass country talking about what I need to do in America. You know, how dare you? So this is a new type of black power, a new type of Pan-Africanism. You know, there's a new type of Pan-Africanists out here. Now, I'm not going to let people talk down on my people here in America when I know no other group of black people have ever accomplished what our people did. Under duress. With no government, no anything. You saw the first thing Jesse Helms, that racist white devil, said? He said that the first thing I'm going to do is shut it down. For what? Let's talk about that. What the hell did this little town trying to build for black people, Why did that racist white devil and all his people in North Carolina saw that as a threat? They didn't help us one goddamn bit. If you want to build a town in Nigeria, you don't have some racist white devil telling you what you can't build. That's a difference. We try to build something when they try to destroy it in America. You got people say, "Oh, black people should be doing this. Black people should be doing this." Completely thinking the white man is just and benevolent people, and all you have to do is come to America. That's a lie. Somebody just put a video. Some guy, I forgot his name, he's an Iranian guy, whatnot. And he basically was saying how Indians are the most successful people in America. My landlord at my office space is an Indian guy, Matt. I love him to death. He just bought a brand new 80,000-mile Maserati. Let me sit in it, right? And he told me he got 3 more, but he got a total of 7 office properties. It almost looks like he wants to tell me that he really wants to turn something over to me, but I'm not getting into real estate. He talks about, this, I'm getting older and whatnot. He acts like he wants to be his heir apparent and whatnot. He's a real good guy. He gave a car dealership to a young brother, 30-year-old young brother. He had a car dealership one night. He turned it over, the keys and said, "It's yours," to a young brother. But I know Indians whatnot. Indians work hard. They live in their business. They have a hotel. They live in there for 7 years, 8 years, until they get on their feet. They're saving money. They got to collect a lot. We don't have that sort of culture. That's why it seems like they're doing so well. And also, they have their women. They don't have their women out there being independent. I'm sorry, their women are in the family. The money is in the family. They have families. When you ever seen an Indian woman single out there? No, she's married off. By the time she's 21 and whatnot, she's married. They're building families. So that traditional culture or not, they have not broken those traditional cultures of family and everything like that. Where everything in American culture teaches us to be single, to be out here doing what you want to do and everything, So basically what he's doing is saying Indians like that. So we're supposed to go back into the 2 centuries to be like Indians in America. We can't do that. How can we sacrifice for success like other races do? Okay, this is difficult. Black America is a victim of the success. Other races are doing that because they're coming from survival mode. They're in survival mode. Black people are trying to get to the next level mode. For the most part, we can't go back to the 1920s where we got 3 families living in a house and stuff like that. That's how immigrants do it. They all cram in one house and they try to move out of it. We can't go back. So the only thing we can do, right, is start rebuilding black families, right? And then also building communities of our own in America and on the African continent. But it has to be family based. That's right. And also, now, let's be honest with ourselves. If you talk about a family, right, you're called a misogynist. You're called a patriarch. You're part of patriarchy. You talk about you're oppressing women. Kala, you're a caveman and everything. Okay. But the Indians and these other immigrants are doing that. And they're successful only because they have families. If black people basically stop with this, we don't need families, something like that, we'd be surpassed Indians, Chinese, everybody overnight. Black America. They taught our women to be independent. Oprah taught our women to be independent. Having children out of wedlock and stuff like that, and just have multiple baby daddies, all this drama and stuff like that, being a boss bitch is the way to go. So it's a cultural thing. It's not an economic thing, it's a culture thing. It's a culture that we're suffering from. How to fix that, I don't know. But what I'm not going to do is sit here and be like, black people are just like this because we're so lazy. That's not it. It's a cultural thing. We bought into the white man's culture. We used to have families. Family life and church life was the center of the black community one time, and also the Nation of Islam, stuff like that. Afrikstan is jealous, unhappy with his life. He never get attention black America see. His bloodline never achieve anything close to I believe that, He knows he's jealous because his culture, wherever the fuck he's from or not, Nobody knows about, nobody gives a damn about. And if it wasn't for black people going to Gambia, they wouldn't even have that. No one even know what the Gambia is. So his talk about Black America is just rooted in jealousy and envy. That's what it all is. When people talk about Black America, they're just jealous and envious. That's all it is. It's jealousy and envy. We got problems in Black America.
Yeah, what's up with this ADOS person, man?
Oh, you're making sense tonight.
ADOS invented country, rock, hip hop, gospel, and more.
WizKid said, I don't want to get off topic, but do you think Umar Johnson failed in the Pan-African mode? He donated. I donated money. Felt like it was wasted. Let me say this, right? The problem is with Dr. Umar. He's a good brother. I love Dr. Umar. I meet Dr. Umar. Give him the biggest hug I ever was. I'm gonna bear hug that brother. I love Dr. Umar in that way. I know he's real. He cares about the people. Okay? And like I said, he does things. We forgive him because we love our Dr. Umar. He does what he does, right? I don't think he failed in the Pan-African movement. I just think that he was probably in over his head. You know, I think he wants to do the right thing. I do think Dr. Umar, he's not a scammer. I don't think he's a grifter. I think he wants to do the right thing. But I just think, part of it is, like I said, the ego and the fame and all that stuff just overtook him. And so he's often, he's doing what he's got to do. But you can't put your faith in somebody. Dr. Umar has a lot of information, right? And don't count him out just yet. He does say a lot of stuff that's very, very important to this movement. You don't, like I was saying, you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. You got to say, okay, like me, I get on Dr. Umar TikToks and tweets stuff like that. And oh, yeah, he was on point. Yeah, he said this. So I was like, oh, fuck Dr. Umar. No, don't do that. Don't throw your brother away like that.
Yeah, he's coming around. You got to give it to him. Dr. Umar is going to make a great comeback.
Yeah, he'll eventually make a good comeback. And one day when this movement really picks up steam, I think he could be of help. He could be of help. I do believe that if we build the Afrikstan, I do believe that brother will be part of it. If this movement seems like, now will he be the head of it and everything like that? No, that's another thing. That's another thing. But will he be supportive of it? I think so. If it's about Black power and Black unity and everything like that, I think Dr. Umar will be supportive of what we're building. I think so. If he's real, he'll support it. I think he is. I don't ever see him becoming Tariq or any of his other goofballs out there. But I think he'll come around. I fucks with Dr. Umar in a way. Now some things he says is off the chain. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, Umar, come on, man, come on, bruh. But for the most part, man, I can live with Dr. Umar. I can live with him. We can live with Dr. Umar. He's on the right track in many ways. So I think it's just a learned thing. What we have to do in the movement, right, is not depend on Dr. Umar, right? Understand where we're coming from. If we're talking about land infrastructure, nationhood, building Black families, and building a connection with Africa and whatnot, then if Dr. Umar supports that, then we know he's on the right track. We have to know what we're talking about, I don't think Dr. Umar have a real good, solid plan as far as like the BAIO and Brother Bomani's doing. So what you got to do is just bunker down, join the BAIO social network, connect with BAIO members and Africa members and build what you got to build. When I get your plan to go on a tour, support the movement and stuff like that, and maybe one day you can invest in Africa and everything. And when this movement gets going and everything like that, you can say, okay, I agree with this with Dr. Umar, but I know what I need. But the problem is that people think their whole fulfillment is just based on what they see on YouTube. You know, if like me, what we're doing in Liberia and Ghana, that's a thing. So it doesn't matter what Omar says or Tariq says, everything like that. You know, we're still doing what we need to be doing. See, if you knew what you're supposed to be doing, with all due respect, my brother was kid, right? If you knew what you're supposed to be doing and got a plan and everything like that, you could look at, yeah, you know, something, I agree with that. And I don't agree with that. I think at school could be that way. You're not sitting there putting all your eggs in one basket. You see what I mean? You're not putting all your eggs in Dr. Umar, because that's not fair to him. You know, that's not fair to Dr. Umar for everybody to be like, oh man, I'm waiting on Dr. Umar and whatnot. You know he don't have fucking Jay-Z money. You know he don't have 50 Cent money. He don't have money like that, you know? So we support the brother because I believe his heart and mind's in the right place. But we got to do what we got to do. Same thing goes with me, you know? Akala can only do but so much. I'm only one man. But you got to do what you got to do, right? And then we meet in the middle, you know? But I'm not going to throw away a good brother like that because, oh, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that, he hasn't done that. No, I'm sorry. We're doing what we need to do. Bomani's doing what he needs to do. We got several people doing what we do. We're not, you know? And then when Umar's on point, we say, hey, Umar's on point right here. He's saying what he needs to do. His school's not open. Yeah, hey, look, whatever. He's, you know, hey, I hope he does it one day. But we're not going to stop doing what we're doing. We're not sitting there, I can't wait that school open. I can't wait to, like, my problem's going to be solved. No, we got land to get. We got infrastructure to get. We got investors to attract. You know, we got things to do. We can't put our hope in one pit. The Messiah syndrome has to go. We're waiting for a Messiah to deliver us and everything like that, you know? Like somebody Moses parting the waters and all that stuff like that. Those days are gone. Umar is just a human being. He's going to make mistakes. He's a man. He's fallible.
Yes, brother. Excellent as usual.
So that's what we're saying about that. We can't put our faith in one man or one woman.
There you go, man.
Let's talk about Dr. Arikana.
And also appreciate the brother Wiz Kid. Much love,
Appreciate
brother.
the Super Chat. You know, those of you support the Super Chat, you're supporting this movement. You know, support the movement. Support Brother Bomani. You know, support Brother Bomani. To support this show. Dr. Arikana. Now, somebody say, Carl, what do you think of Dr. Arikana? Look, I'm going to break it down to you. This is what I see. Now, she was at the National Action Network recently, right, with Al Sharpton, another clown. And she's going for the usual suspects to connect with in Black America. She thinks beginning with Benjamin Crump, Al Sharpton, other people, is going to give her some clout in Black America. And what they're trying to do is bypass real past. That's why the Pan-African community, people who are nation-building people, need to come together with the BAIO and Bomani and several other people for instruction. If you're basically so weak and whatnot, you just basically just a follower. I don't need followers. She basically is talking about a Pan-African development bank, fund, right? But what she didn't say is who is actually going to control this thing. Of course, she will. And how will Black America benefit from this? If the Pan-African Development Bank is not about Black power, or us gaining power, us gaining land and infrastructure, then it's not really Black power. So therefore, Black people, oh yeah, Dr. Arikana. I asked a couple of years ago, right? This is my history of Dr. Arikana. Mr. Rosenthal introduced her to me. It was back in 2018, right? After my friend Celeste from Angola had went to jail under the new government and everything. She went to jail for like almost 2 years. And so this lady, Dr. Arikana, we proposed the idea of building smart cities in Angola called the Afrikstan smart cities and everything. Mr. Rosenthal was in Zimbabwe. He left Angola when that all went down, and he went to Zimbabwe. And he just happened to be talking to Dr. Arikana. He mentioned the idea that there's people, black nationalists in America, who would talk about building a smart city. She said, wonderful idea. And around the time there was a movie, The Black Panther, came out, she started calling our Afrikstan project Wakanda's city, right? And she proposed a city on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe. Now I said, Mr. Rosenthal, like this. Then I asked Mr. Rosenthal, okay, now the Afrikstan means that we, black people in America, will control the government, the taxes, and infrastructure, everything. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. I said, well, I'm not interested. Well, so anyway, she just went on with this thing, like, oh, we're going to build a new smart city and everything like that called Wakanda City, whatever like that, right? From what I hear now, she's in Ghana trying to build it. But all these black people that's following her, right? She said on the outset, it's not about you. So who's gonna build it? And then a year later, this clown rapper called Akon had the idea of building an Akon city. So from the idea of a black African Americans diaspora smart city called the Afrikstan, which was proposed to Angola, it got hijacked to Dr. Arikana and Akon. And they started talking about planning their own cities. But none of these cities have black people and black power in mind. Akon City will be built by Chinese money, Chinese funds, and everything like that. And you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. You're not going to be able to own property, own land, and businesses and everything like that. So this is what I'm talking about. But people still build it as Pan-Africanism and everything, absent black power. You cannot have Pan-Africanism without black power. Black power means that every town's thing is decided on by black people, us. We decide what the name of cities. We decide where the road is going to be built. We decide where the railway is going to be built. We decide everything. That's empowering. We have a thing like Floyd McKenzie with Soul City. That was a black-owned project and plan. That's black power. We control it. That wasn't a white man saying, I'm going to build a Soul City. That's a black man doing it. If it ain't about black power, power is not just having, it's also doing and building and creating. So you could say, we built this ourselves. If you have the Chinese, you have to plan to have Europeans and the Chinese building stuff like this and everything like that, and you have no say-so or anything, that is not black power. So I'm not going to support fake Pan-African movements that's not based in black power. So therefore, and also, I'm not going to accept no from any black person. Floyd McKenzie was up against Jesse Helms, who was saying no because he's a white man, a racist. If we decide to build these cities in Africa and whatnot, it's going to be us that's going to build it, and you dare not say no. You have to recognize black power. You want the Chinese to come and build it? Look, I just saw a video where this young black man, Ethiopian guy, or whoever he was, Nigerian, whatever, was in the AU building, right? And he was looking at the servers, and he noticed something in the servers that all the emails and everything was going to a server in China. So the Chinese had that old African Union thing bugged. They said they were going to build you a free building, the OAU conference building. We should have built the thing ourselves, pull the money. The black race should have built it by myself. The billions of dollars Nigeria is wasting, foolishness and everything. The billions of dollars Ethiopia and all these other countries have one that we waste in stupid nonsense and everything. We could have built that thing ourselves. The Chinese people had the bug. They're spying on stuff like this. So basically China is effectively turning Africa into its own colony. Did they kick the Chinese out? Did they punch the Chinese? No. Just because somebody builds infrastructure for you, don't mean they believe in black power. The Chinese built the railway in Kenya. They took the railways over. Next thing, people like, wait a minute here. They got Chinese sections and they got a Chinese conductor engineer. Say, wait a minute. You built the railways. Well, we didn't say all this. So Kenya's like, man, we're second-class citizens in our own country. That's not black power. Beware, the Bible says, beware of strangers bearing gifts. I was taught that my whole life. Nobody builds anything for you for free. There's always an ulterior motive. So as far as Dr. Arikana, I'm not feeling her. You know, she has not said where who in Black America with this the African, it's going to be African American money, African American pension funds and investments and everything like that. It's going to be African American control and African American Black people in America, Black power, stuff like that. That's who's going to control it. You got this Nana Addo character in Ghana. He's in Baltimore, meeting with leaders, and he wants to get his dirty, greasy hands on the city of Baltimore's pension funds for loans and stuff like that for his country that's crumbling. People have no respect for Black power, because the message to Black people, to the world is you can rob Black America because it's so gullible. The Pan-African movement has turned into the civil rights movement. We shall overcome. And Africa said, like, man, if the white man did all this shit to them all the years, why can't we do this? They don't want Black power, Pan-Africanists in the movement anymore. We have no more use. They want your friggin' Eric Adams, your friggin' Benjamin Crumps, the Al Sharptons and whatnot, you know, and your Kamala Harrises and all these other people, Idris Elba and all these other goofball entertainers. That's what passes for Pan-Africanism nowadays.
I call. I'm trying to get somebody to join, but ADOS, who invented many different things, don't seem like she's interested in joining the party.
Oh. So, like I said, man, this the idea, like I said, this show right here is where you get the real stuff. You know, everybody else, we say what we say in the 3 hour, 4 hours. We do a night twice a week and whatnot. You know, it's like all you really need for the rest of the week. All these rest of the people that you see on YouTube and everything, these people just babbling all the time. I just broke it down to you tonight what we need to do. I gave you an example. You know, you need Black power. If people aren't talking about Black power, they're not talking about anything. If people are telling you to come to Africa and let these friggin' people rule over you and rob you and everything like that, and I heard somebody say, well, Black America, you have no recourse in Africa. That's why Africa is good. You have no recourse. You have nowhere to go to. Africa is supposed to be our motherland, right? We should get recourse and justice and due process. And we can't get that in Africa, man. All bets are off. And there's been a couple of weeks, the Ghanaian government said they will investigate what happened in the thing. That whole issue's gone away. I don't even hear Go Black talking about it anymore. That sound like Black power to you? No. People are coming to the movement, right? And they think just because they can afford a plane ticket to Africa, that means
Kala, you are frozen.
I'm here.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is this. So we're talking about tonight is Black power. I hope I made my point. I hope I'm making my point. Black power. If you're not empowered, if you're not better than the situation that you just left, then you ain't doing Black power. You know. Any move I make in Liberia, Ghana, powered. You know, one way or the other. We're not going to be taken with anything. It's all about Black power. Now, if somebody wants to get with us, and I'll work with anybody. I don't care. I understand that these countries are in bed with the United States government, so long as our interests don't conflict, whatever like that. But we're about Black power and Black ownership and black logistics and stuff like that. That's our religion. If we're not being empowered or we're not gaining from what we're doing, then it's not worth it. You know, I'm not saying that it can't happen and everything like that, but I can't endorse it. Hey, well, what do you think about this person like this? Let me give you an example. There's a ecotourism thing in Liberia called, I forgot the name of it, right? But I went there. It was nice, right? It's owned by white people, but it's nice. I talked to them online one time. Real nice people, right? But the whole staff there, everybody there that runs the place, that have jobs, the security, everybody, the bartenders, cooks, everything, are all black Liberians. That's something I can deal with because you're empowering black people. You know, so you're empowering black people, you're employing black people, and black people benefiting for what you're doing. I can deal with that. Now, it ain't 100% black power to we own this. Okay, I get that. That's the way we have to look at business in Africa and stuff like that. We understand that we might need non-black people investments and stuff like that. I get that. But hey, you know, the management and all stuff like that, you got to provide the opportunity. And it seems like that's working in Liberia. Because every foreign-owned business I see in Liberia is staffed and run by Liberians. You don't see any friggin' businesses that you see Indian family and everything like that. No, they probably sell cousins, Patel and everything. Y'all better stay in India. We keep our doors open because we're employing these black people here. That's what I mean by black power. Black people should have some sort of benefit from anything that goes on in your country. And trust me, I look for that. You know, I go to a restaurant, whatnot, that's not black owned. The server, everything, the DJ is a Liberian or a black Liberian. Hey, I'm good. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. But I'm not going to go to a place when I'm in Africa and I see all Lebanese in the back and whatever like that. No, I'm sorry. I can't deal with that. So as far as I'm concerned, all the restaurants I've been into in Liberia and everything, even when I went to the Farmington, the best hotel in Liberia, 5-star, you know, everybody working there is a Liberian. Don't about a Lebanese guy, right? Lebanese millionaire, but everybody working there, the bartender, everybody like that, you know, everything, room service, everything, it's all black. You know, black people are gaining. So we have to have that attitude what we're doing. Black power. It seems like Liberia really has that down pack, you know. You know, they're benefiting from anything that goes on in their country. You know, you don't see white people out here in Eastern Africa. You can go to a place where there's all Indians running. I can't deal with that. You know, I can't deal with that. Black power, black empowerment, black ownership. You know, black people making decision makings. You know, that's how we do this thing. That's how we build a black world. The more of us that are empowered in every aspect of our life and everything, the more we are free. Because remember something, there used to be a time in the world where a black man made no decisions anywhere in the world. In colonial Africa, they had white people, it said the dumbest white people to govern and rule over the smartest Africans. We came a long way. You know, I remember the Ivory Coast was starting to replace Vietnamese because, you know, Indochina and everything was connected to the French. You know, you had Vietnamese businessmen and people running and people from Malaysia and India and Europe and everything. They were the upper class in Ivory Coast at one time, you know, because they were the elite in the French society above the Africans. So the Ivory Coast was basically like, well, the Africans in Ivory Coast had nothing. They had no clerical jobs. And so now it's a different story. That's what it means by black power. Same thing happened in South Africa. Same thing happened in South Africa. So whites are being slowly replaced by black people on many corporations and everything, you know. That's black power. Black people moving into power. State of Virginia, black people are moving in Virginia in high levels of business and government every day. In my business, insurance and everything like that, All I meet is top level black people. Top level, you got to meet such a. You think a white guy walks in the room and it's a black man or black female? Like, damn, you know. Top people from this. Hey, she's the regional vice president of this company, corporation right here. She's here to talk. Be a black woman walking the door. Black improvement and everything is good. And I don't see people talking about that. Black people moving up the corporate ladder, black people making and decision-making power and everything like that. Black people being shot callers and everything like that. It's all about black power. You ain't gonna build no nation being powerless. The more power we have, the more influence we have in this world, the more we can get stuff done. I want to see black people heading pension fund boards in cities that black people are the majority. So you call yourself a black, oh, we got black mayors, black city council in Chicago or whatnot, you know, or Baltimore or New York. Okay, New York has billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in employee pension fund, the UN pension funds that they loan out every year for businesses and everything. Who controls that? Where's some of that money going? Are we investing in black-owned businesses and everything? No. And that's what the problem happened in Los Angeles. They love Tom Bradley and everything, but Bradley, you know, didn't take some of the money and everything to empower black communities. That's what happened. He was just a figurehead. Now, when Harold Washington became mayor of Chicago, right? He did things to empower black people. He wasn't the same old black leader. Same thing with Marion Barry. Marion Barry did a lot to empower black people with jobs and everything like that. You know, summer youth programs and everything. Maynard Jackson, to me, the best black mayor that ever lived one night. Built the black middle class in Atlanta, a sleepy little town like that. He built the airport. You know, and got foreign businesses to come there and invest. He built Atlanta. Atlanta would be a sleepy little town if it wasn't for Maynard Jackson. That's what I mean by black power. Making powerful moves. Putting black people in a position of power, of decision making. Any more comments, brother?
Repeat that one.
I said, any more comments?
Any more comment? No comment, man, other than that ADOS person.
Why don't Pan-Africans receive grants from African? We can't receive grants from African leaders. They claim they don't have any money. Many house villages, you know, we could do that in America. We don't really need that. All we need is African leaders to stay out of our way. You know, we don't really need them for that. You know, there's plenty of land in Liberia and Ghana and everything. Well, I don't know about Ghana, but Liberia, there's plenty of land. All you have to do is get it and raise the capital. And what they can do is like Dr. Henderson's proposing to George Weah is build these communities for African Americans in Liberia, the Afrikstan model, right? And there'll be a tax base, you know. A tax base, you know, for Liberia. I don't think Weah understands what he's talking about. Building smart cities and towns where you know, got people planning on doing that. You got Liberians and African Americans working on that. But you need a government. So in other words, you build a municipality, right? You got to have your own city hall, your own city council. You got to have all stuff like that. You got to have your own revenue authority. You got to have your own police, jail, firemen, all those things that go into town. If you could build those, create the prototype to build those, yeah, that could be a win-win situation. But that takes the help of the host country. You know, that takes the host country got to be like, okay, understand your vision. And I don't think a lot of people in Africa understand that when we propose that. Now, Angola, they like that. They like the idea. They understand where we're coming from. But the whole thing about this now is you got to convince Black America that prospective countries could be a thing. And also, I'll be honest with you, to make all that work, right, you're really going to need investment. You know, you're going to need like an IBM to invest. You're going to need like a FedEx UPS to invest. You're going to need IT companies to invest. You're going to need manufacturing companies to invest. Because why? Because that's going to create the job base and stuff like that. You know, you might have to have tech companies and stuff like that, banking companies, or whatever it is that want to expand on the African continent to move in proximity to these areas that we want to build. Then you create job opportunities, business opportunities, and everything like that for college grads, both from Africa and America and stuff like that. Then you're in a winning situation. But right now, everything that America outsources goes to Asia and all these other countries. America doesn't look to Africa to outsource any of this business. IT is a big thing. You know who gets all the IT business? India. You know, India gets all the IT outsourcing. And I call a company like Humana or something like that, and I'm talking to somebody in India. They get an American name or even China. We have girls in Liberia and everything like that can do those jobs. That's billions of big outsourcing and business management and stuff like that, you know, for what do you call it? Your new IT business, Bomani. You know, when you outsource like call centers and stuff like that, that's big business globally. Because America, you build your ITC center, you're paying $20 an hour. Now in America, people are doing that stuff from home. You know, they got the home office. So what I'm saying is that that's a good opportunity in Africa as far as like business development. Because if like in the Philippines is another place that a lot of corporations outsource a lot of their help desks and stuff like that too. You know, you call Amazon a lot of times, you're talking to somebody in the Philippines. You're talking to somebody in Malaysia. You're talking to somebody in India. How come you never pick up a phone and you call, say, yeah, I need this order, my thing? How come you never hear an African person on that line? Because we have not said that we want to start empowering Africa. That would make all of the Africa is so far behind the rest of the world. You know, when we talk about integration, right? Why can we have the integrated Africa into the global business world?
Absolutely.
These are the conversations that the Black African infrastructure talks about. We're about infrastructure. And we got people on the African continent that can do call centers and stuff like that, you know. If we're buying from companies, it should be the point where if you want to sell in Africa, you want to sell to Black people and that, and you're not outsourcing some of your IT and stuff like that and building call centers and computer centers on the continent and data centers and everything like that, we don't want to do your business. But we're not united like that. You don't hear Dr. Arcana talking on that level because she's not about empowering the average African. You got companies now that want to build new batteries for lithium and everything, right? These corporations got to have headquarters. They have to have data centers and everything. Where are those data centers and everything going to be located? It won't be on the African continent. Well, if it's not going to be on the African continent, guess what? You ain't getting any lithium. This is the sort of talk that I want people listening to this show to start talking about. You want oil. Like, let me give you a perfect example. Let me give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about, right? Nigeria. I'm going to give Nigeria some props tonight. People say, oh, you're going to criticize Nigeria. I'm going to give Nigeria some props tonight. In the late 60s, U.S. oil companies had oil rigs off the coast of the Delta region and stuff like that in Nigeria. Like 30 or 40 oil platforms, drilling platforms, right? But they refused, right, to have an office in Port Harcourt and everything. Then the Nigerian government said, look, we're going to stop you from drilling oil unless you accept. They refused. What they would do is say, okay, this is how much oil we drilled today, and wouldn't even go to Nigeria. The Nigerians would have to go on a boat and get some paperwork from the thing and say, okay, this is what you have, this is the manifest and everything, this is what we drilled today, and then they will get their money on the back end. The Nigerian government said, you're going to open offices, branch offices in Nigeria. And when they did that, right, they had to purchase office space, they had to hire local Nigerians and everything, and a lot of Nigerians became millionaires just on that move alone. So if you want to drill in Nigeria, you have to have an office in Nigeria. You have to have an office. You have to hire people. We have to have paperwork. You have the data on files that we can collect everything. And you're going to be taxed as a business in Nigeria. Or you don't get any oil. As simple as that. But Western companies want to come and mine and everything and do the very bare minimum in the country. They don't want to be there. They don't want to be there at all. And instead of saying, you know something, we got some people that might want to live in Nigeria, some Black Americans. You have white men started building homes in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Look at the history of Port Harcourt. You got a lot of white Americans and white Dutch and everything. They got nice homes in Port Harcourt. They didn't want to do that, but they had to. And they grow up, and all these people felt uneasy about being in a black country, and they definitely don't like hearing stuff about Pan-Africanism and black power and stuff like that. Like that. So when the question was asked, how they cover themselves is tell you, oh, black people in America are lazy. You're not like them, and all stuff like that. A lot of Nigerians bought that. Because some Nigerians will ask, why don't they have black? Why your company not sending black people here? There's all white guys who got these jobs, white families who got these jobs. I'm just trying to put you guys on some game. People talk a lot of stuff online and everything, and they don't know the history. They don't know anything that's going on. They don't know why things are the way they are. There's a reason why things are the way they are. Because you don't know. We just broke down Soul City tonight. People probably don't know about that. I just told you about Port Harcourt, how that happened. Most of you don't know that. The same thing happened with lithium. You guys plan on going to electric batteries and everything. You got lithium. We have lithium and cobalt and coltan and everything like that. Guess what? You ain't going to get a drop of that, unless you come there. You see in the Congo, right? Little babies out there picking coltan up with their hands when it should be in school and everything. And the bottom line, that's supposed to be illegal, child labor and stuff like that. But the child labor and stuff like that doesn't apply to Africans. It doesn't apply to the black race. Because the same people that don't understand, like the Afro dumbasses in the world, the white man does not see you as human. They don't say anything about their men coming to Africa, white men from Europe coming to Africa, preying on little children and everything like that. There's no big shame and everything. They have all kinds of people when it comes to Cambodia and everything. I saw this one thing where the one actor, Sean Penn, was on this thing where he's talking about white men from America coming there preying on underage girls as young as 11 years old and everything. Do you see that as far as Africans? No. You see anybody going to the Congo and asking why little African babies are picking minerals up and everything like that in dirty bags and dirty conditions and everything? Does anybody care about that? No. And I don't expect the world to care about that. I do expect the world to care because it's common humanity. But it has to be the black man in the world has to say that those are our children over there, no matter what background they're from. If they're black African children, then they're part of us. And whatnot. We have to say something about it. We have to be our brother's keeper. But we don't see that in the world. I don't see anybody talking about this. Also, I'm not trying to say social media is everything, but social media gives you a sample of what I think people think is important. And I don't see anybody talking about the brutal conditions that the African miners have to go through right now to give Europeans. Europeans don't invest in equipment and stuff like that. They're going to take it for rock bottom. You got little children working in dangerous, unsanitary conditions and everything. Does anybody care? We know the white men don't care. The black people even care. No, because you don't believe in black power. You don't believe black people deserve better. Black power is about you believe your people deserve what everybody else deserves, a decent chance at life. That's what I believe. That's what I believe, folks. Let's see if I can find the video, Brother Bomani.
What video you looking for?
The child miners. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. To make it clear what we're talking about. This angers me when I see this video every time. Now people going to Africa and whatnot, and then I talk about black power and stuff like that. How you gonna talk about black power and everything? You don't care about the black children. Why is our race always going through this? What's up, brother Bobcat? My ancestor, you said Mike Tyson did a thing, said his ancestors from the Congo. My ancestors from the Congo too. My ancestor DNA comes back to the Congo.
Monitored mines in the DRC, crawling with children, working like modern-day slaves. 12-hour-long day of punishing work may earn them the equivalent of £1. Although one of the poorest countries on earth, DRC is rich in minerals. But a history of brutal colonial exploitation looks like being repeated now in 2017. Much of it's mined by hand, with rudimentary tools in harsh, potentially hazardous conditions. And wretched whether or not, the rush is on for a mineral the DRC has in great abundance, cobalt, and it's fast becoming more precious than gold. It's a critical ingredient in lithium-ion batteries which power smartphones and laptops. An army of children are at the heart of the mining production. Wearing no shoes and in the most wretched conditions, Dorsan is ordered to retrieve the sack he's forgotten. There's an urgency now. The rains make this dangerous work even more risky, and Dorsan's told in no uncertain terms he risks a beating if he messes up again. Dorsan, with Richard beside him, have worked all day. They're 8 and 11 years old. Even this punishing work doesn't guarantee enough for food. Dorsan hasn't eaten for 2 days now. This is what helpless looks like, and he's one of the children making millions for multinational corporations in America and China whilst they suffer in squalor. For this, they'll get maybe 8 British pence a day. The tunnels are dug by hand with no supports. They frequently collapse, especially during rain. The miners climb down using holes carved in the rock and no safety equipment. This most precious of minerals is often extracted and sorted by tiny hands. They don't wear gloves or masks, yet the World Health Organization says exposure to cobalt and breathing in its dust fumes can cause long-term health problems. We visited 5 different mines across the south of DRC and found all used child workers. Monica's the youngest worker in this group at just 4. But even those barely able to walk have lost their childhoods to mining. Natalie's 12 years old. My fingers hurt, she tells us. Miles away on a different site, Makumba Mateba shows us the cobalt tunnel he's dug with 3 of his friends. It's physically tough work. They removed all this rock by hand over nearly 4 months.
It's incredibly insecure for them. Although this is really rich in minerals, and it's going down just 15 meters. There's no support bars. They have no protective masks or protective equipment at all. And right at the bottom, I can see water.
It's his village's water which Makumba's convinced has caused his health problems. After a lifetime of drinking it, he has a huge tumor on his throat.
Quand on est en train de travailler à Kitowe, là où on cultive les tomates, en train de cultiver, si j'ai soif, je pars puiser de l'eau.
There are countless reports of other health problems from those living nearby and working on the mines.
On trouve les infections, mingi ni mama infection, ndio tunaona huko. Kasi mama anatumika makariere sana, Tanzania mtoto na infection shulungula, mingine kuna bima buton, mingine ndio tunaona don makozi linatoka mama mimba nenda makariere.
These twins are just 2 days old, and although small, so far they're healthy, to the relief of their mother.
Oh, hii manini maminereishi unaleta maproblem kama wewe mwanamke unaenda kutumika hapo. Inaleta maproblem na difficulty kama una mimba. Bo shi mwanamke ni mama yangu kunetupeleka kukwesa mama yangu kunetupeleka tunaenda kutumika.
But even if they stay healthy, the twins face a lifetime of hard labor as soon as they can walk. The children's cobalt is sold cheaply to mostly Chinese traders who we film secretly. They don't ask questions about where their cobalt comes from or who's worked to extract it. They just want the best price.
The black part is cobalt.
Even those who aren't Chinese, this trading market has Indian owners, told us they sell onto the dominant Chinese exporter of cobalt, CDM. The cobalt first mined here is then sold again to the Chinese parent company, which then supplies some of the world's biggest battery makers. And those batteries, with ingredients which originated in DRC, end up in, for instance, smartphones. It's an intricate supply chain which allows easy deniability for the multinationals making huge profits. An investigation last year by Amnesty found similar human rights abuses. Nothing appears to have changed. Most of these child miners will never own a smartphone. They barely survive from day to day. And many other children like Dorsan will be back again tomorrow, digging out one of the most sought-after minerals of our time for a pittance. Alex Crawford, Sky News in the DRC.
A lot of people.
Yeah, they say that they literally have a smartphone pop up.
Yeah, but that was just
that's always traumatizing, man.
Yeah, well, these things we got to see. This is the reality of Africa. This is the reality. You know, this is the reality. Are we going there to change things? Or are we going there to fit in and just keep our mouth shut and just enjoy some tropical sun? You know, or are you about that revolution life? That's what I'm about. I'm about a revolution, you know. This right here, they got Indians and people talking about, oh, the Chinese and all that. I'm sick of these fake ass African Negro-peans, now the China-peans, you know. You know, Negro China-peans and all these other fucking people that talk nonsense and everything like that, you know. So that Africa is not rising. Africa is fucking falling, you know. You know, so like that. You know, the Congo has all the rich minerals. What's minerals if you're not benefiting from them? If you're not making the smartphones? If you have this, you got Indian guys selling to the Chinese and everything. You know, and you got little children out there. How the hell how? And let me tell you something. Let me say something right here. I'm gonna say something now that's gonna piss a lot of people off. Right? I'm sick and tired of people telling me, Black America, y'all don't have no culture. Y'all like this. What kind of culture is that when you watch a little baby, 4 years old, doing callboy?
You know? Real, man.
You can't see that in Black America. We don't do that shit. Our children don't get out here and work. Our children in a playground somewhere. Off the money we make for them. Not the white man. We did that for them, you know? My parents were able to give us a childhood and everything like that, you know? How the hell is that possible? You know, so therefore, when we come with this energy, this black power energy, this black revolutionary energy, is because we want to change stuff. Oh, just go over there and just fit in, just the culture. And I don't give a damn. If the culture can't bring you no black power, then get rid of it. Don't tell me about the culture and everything like that, and you're living in squalor. What did Marcus Garvey say? How you call yourself something and your brother's living in dirt, filth, and disease? How does any black man look at that, right? See children that look like their own children in that squalor like that. If you're black and you're not freaking angry right now and infuriated right now, there's something wrong with you. My ancestors from the Congo, those could be my relatives right there. Just freaking nonsense and everything like that, you know? That's why the BAIO is different from all other fake, not even say fake, but all mediocre Pan-African groups. We're saying we're trying to build infrastructure, you know? Infrastructure and building black wealth will lift all the black people in the world out of poverty, out of this dirt, filth, dirt, and disease. So I tell people all the time, if you want to join real revolutionaries, you join us. What can we do? Yeah, we can do. We can say, look, you ain't going to get a goddamn another thing of cobalt or not. And also, we got to hold the government of the Congo accountable. You know, we got to hold the Congo accountable. That's one thing I disagree with Mr. Rosenthal. He's friends with the president of the Congo. I'm sorry. I can't do that. And that's cobalt. The coltan mine's even worse. You got little kids as young as 4 years old picking through this stuff, like picking through these minerals. That's a shame. But this is Africa. This is Africa. This is Africa, man. You gotta understand, Colin. This is that. No, I'm sorry, I don't understand. You're making Apple and all these other companies super rich and whatnot with their iPhones and everything, you know? And those kids will never be able to afford an iPhone. And you talk about the Indians and the Chinese are your friends. Are these your friends? The Chinese really your friends? Chinese are not friends. Chinese is another blood-sucking race that's trying to suck life out of us, just like the Europeans did. Don't give me that crap, everybody. Oh, the Europeans, the Americans, and everything. Somebody said the other day that Americans are just. I don't think Americans are doing the same thing the freaking Chinese are doing. Chinese are worse. Yeah, they build some roads for you, but why do you need them to build your roads? Why can't a collage and a consortium of black engineers throughout the world can't come together and form a corporation like the Peng Lloyd Group and build all the infrastructure, you know, and make all that infrastructure money back? Why do we got to have the Chinese in Africa? Are we stupid or something? Are we an inferior race? You know what that would do to the average African youth when if he sees people look like them building railways and stuff like that, you know? You see a black man as a head person building that stuff like that. You know what that would do to the self-esteem of the African youth? You think he could be more than a coal miner? You think he could be more than that? So, like I said, man, this is like I said, we're about black power. If you ain't about black power, then you ain't with me. You know, this is not black power. You know, saying Congo's got all the minerals in the world, where the people are the poorest country in the damn world. That ain't black power. Black power is building industries. Black power is building the mechanisms in the schools and the education system to give people a fighting chance in the world. That's black power. Black power is controlling and owning things. That's black power. If you ain't about black power, and whatever you're doing ain't worth a damn. That black power is living place. If people's situation getting better, and the situation's not getting better, and people are not getting jobs and everything, then it ain't black power. If it ain't black power, then don't do it. Now put the link up. See if anybody wants to join us, Bomani. So anybody want to join the party, join this discussion? Where are the real black nationalists out there? Where are the real Pan-Africans, All right, why don't you guys call in tonight? See what's on your mind. How you going to
I've been posting the link from the beginning. It's there. You know what I mean? So after a little bit, then I'll close out. It's more than enough time. And
let's see if Godstar wants to come in.
Yeah, they want to come on in because gotta shut it down soon.
Yeah,
after 3 hours.
Yeah, those documentaries are important. That Soul City is very important. I want to know why people never heard of it. People never heard of the real important things about our history. They don't know it. That's why we have these platforms. We give you an alternative version of our history. There's nonsense out here that we black people weren't doing nothing, blah, blah, blah. Those as you see all these other goofballs that call themselves Pan-Africanists talk about, spew out all night. It's a friggin' foolishness. And also, black power is all about justice. If you're not about justice, right? Justice is universal. Everybody's entitled to justice. The white man does not have a monopoly on justice. Nobody can just say, okay, that's good. If you feel like you're not getting justice and whatnot, it's your right to make that happen. Like in Soul City, they basically shut that down. Why? Because they could. Is that justice? No. They burned Black Wall Street down, right? Never recovered, right? Is that justice? No. Rosewood, black people minding their business. Town destroyed. Justice. Wilmington, North Carolina, destroyed. White mob destroyed. Justice. We ever get justice? No. We never get justice. And you don't have justice when you have black power, where you can provide for and defend yourself. That's justice. Justice comes from having power and strength to make it happen. Kyle, you're an angry black man. Yeah, I'm an angry black man. And I'm a proud angry black man. I'm sick and tired of Kyle, you're so angry. You're so this. That's right. I'm damn angry, I'm an angry black man. I'm proud of it.
Hey, tell him, brother, man. Tell him.
Come into this movement, man. You're dealing with angry black men. I do this because I'm an angry black man. That's why. I have a good business, a good life in America, but I'm still angry. This idea, you get a little crumbs on the white man's table. You're supposed to be happy. You just be quiet. Just get your money. I'm getting the money damn anyway, and I'm still angry. How about that? What now? What are you going to tell me? I'm at the top of my game in business one night. What are you going to tell me? I'm a lazy black man who never did nothing? No, I'm a successful black man, and I'm still angry. That's what scares people.
There you go, brother. Let them know, man. You want more. You want more than this pizza pie.
I'm telling you, like I said, I want it all. I want everything that belongs to me. The Bible says, "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's."
Tell him, brother, forget a piece of the pie. Give me the whole thing.
They want to give you a little piece of the pie. Here's the little slice, Kyle. No, I want the whole fucking pie. I want everything. If I do have to do business with non-white people, I'm going to get the lion's share of everything.
That's exactly what that means, brother. That's exactly what it means.
Everybody get their little nickels and dimes and whatnot, Like you look at the NBA, if those Negroes want running down the court, killing themselves and dehydrating and whatnot, those white people wouldn't be nothing. You got brothers out there getting head concussions down on the NFL team. You got a white guy sitting in the owner's box with their white blonde wives and everything like that, while Negroes running around, they kill themselves on a football field. And you got people out there who don't even do that. They just basically, the advertisers, sports apparel, there, billions and billions of dollars are made and whatnot, and they don't have to break a sweat. And there's no black owners in the NFL. And don't give Jay-Z 1% ownership of a team and tell me that's black power. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Don't tell me about 50 Cent and all these other people out here making movies on that. That's not real black power. Yeah. It's the truth, you know? And that mentality is still there. That mentality, nobody cares about the African children. You know, nobody cares about that. It's a culture of seeing children. Like when I was in Liberia, I honestly, that breaks my heart. I see little children out there selling waters out there on the street where they should be in school. You know, hawking stuff on the side. You see it in Ghana. People, little children hawking stuff on the side of the road and whatnot where they should be in school. So if a president got to take one less trip overseas for some convention and save the money to give back to the children and everything, so be it. That's the mentality we want to bring, you know, that we don't accept everything that you're bringing. When people tell you don't bring your American mindset, that's what they mean. Don't tell us how we can't exploit our children and do all this kind of friggin' nonsense and foolishness. That's what they're talking about. Don't bring that American mindset to Africa and everything. Shut the hell up. It shouldn't even be an American mindset to make sure children have a decent way of life. So like I said, this is a different type of black power movement, folks. This is a different type of Pan-African movement. You know, the bottom line is I'm not going to sit here, if it's in my strength and my influence or power, to watch another generation go by and live in this nonsense. I'm for anybody that want to overturn this wicked, racist, oppressive global system. And the only way we're going to build this is by coming together and building black African infrastructure. We need our own mining companies. We need our own manufacturing companies. If a mineral originates Africa, then the product that makes that is going to be made in Africa by Africans. Anybody sells out one night, they're going to be put on a list of sellout and race traders. Not a damn thing has changed in 400 years of Europeans exploiting Africa. European and Arabs, everybody exploiting Africa. Not a damn thing has changed. All they think they do is put a couple of black people in key positions and everything, and you think you're making goddamn progress. A few Negroes in suits and whatnot on the continent. You think everything is no. Same friggin' Europeans that friggin' loot the continent of human resources or looting the continent or natural resources and everything. No, I'm not happy. I'm probably the angriest black man on the freaking planet. Angriest black man on the planet. So when we talk about doing these tours and stuff like that, we're talking about making a change. We're talking about making a difference, making a change. Everything I do, and one thing I do, I can't be bought by money. Nobody goes there and say, I'm not in this movement for money. You know, I refuse to believe that we are an inferior race. Accepting the status quo is saying that we're an inferior race, and I refuse to believe that. That's why I'm so tethered to Liberian history, right? Because our ancestors believed there was something better and they could do it. Out of that came a country out of nothing. They built a modern republic. stood the test of time. Yeah, man. I was talking about that Amos Sawyer clown,
Who clown?
Amos Sawyer, the dude he was playing the other night. And he was saying, oh, yeah, they tried to integrate and build schools. And what was that? What was wrong about that? What was wrong about educating the people and stuff like that? They had to have education. Yeah, education is a reason. You saw what Lee Kuan Yew said? He said, and also people don't understand something, right? Here's a problem. Now, yes, well, why does the DR Congo has that? Well, that guy, the president of DR Congo allows that, was elected. So it tells you, does elections really work in Africa? When the people are so oppressed and so down and out, and the very thing, if Lee Kuan Yew said it best, he said, in order for you to have a democracy, like they say, you have to have a middle class, an educated middle class, where everybody's on the same page for the most part. Other than that, you're going to have chaos. And he was right. So all these people where you see the blood diamonds and all the stuff like you see in Africa, exploitation and chicanery, these are all elected governments. Every last single one of them. Every last single government in Africa right now, Barack Obama. Oh, we have all these elections in Africa. But elections did not benefit the average person in Africa, because the mindset is still in darkness. So elections are not the answer. People think they're gonna black people think they're gonna elect their way into prosperity. It's not gonna work. A mindset has to change.
Takala, perfect. Appreciate it, brother. Good energy and family. Last call, because it's that time it's that time to close out on the late night shift. Takala been dropping jewels all night long.
Yeah, people should come on and share the experience and talk about what this the movement's all about. I definitely want to hear some feedback, because nobody else is talking like this. Nobody else is talking like this anywhere online that I know.
There you go.
Nobody's talking like this. That's why people think just going to Africa is going to Disneyland. I'm gonna go to Africa and buy some land and everything like that. Africa has not changed. That's why you have to build with us, build communities and everything like that. So we have a voice on the continent. We could change things. Going to Africa is not just going to Africa and living there is not the answer.
You gotta make serious moves. So yes, brother Kala, what a time for, by the time you know it, man. By the time you know it, it's time to go to Liberia next year, April 2024.
And the bottom line, that trip to Liberia, one of the things we wanted to say is we're coming from a standpoint of we're looking at a place where that we're going to focus on to build communities and stuff like that, And when we go to Liberia, when you see the possibilities of open land, a completely empty country for the most part, right? Where there's plenty of land and plenty of territory and everything and easy access. Oh, one video I want you to play that before we end up, right? Some of that video. The sister from Dallas that I sent you that says Liberia is an excellent place to invest in. I sent you on WhatsApp. You got it?
Yes, I got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, play it. I want to talk to this sister, More and more African Americans are going over to the continent. But I just hope we don't make the mistake like we did in Ghana, where everybody's on their own. That's the one thing I hope that does not happen. I hope that does not happen. We need to work together, coordinate this together. It's easy to own land in Liberia if you're African American. It's very, very easy. You don't have to go through all that. You don't have to worry about your land being bulldozed and all kind of friggin' foolishness that you do in other countries in Africa, And in Gambia, you don't have to worry about, some Indian person coming in after 2 years talking about this is my property, I want it back. And you're tied up in court with Juliet and everybody that sold you some land that was somebody else's. That shit that won't happen in Liberia. Our ancestors created something 200 years ago, a vision for us to have something 200 years later. And they knew that Bomani and I were going to be interested in this land, And more black people from America are just basically discovering Liberia as a possibility.
All right, brother, it is all set. Are you ready? You ready for
I'm
it?
ready. I'm ready.
Here we go. Banner, banner, banner.
If you haven't already done so, please subscribe so you can be notified when I have new videos. A little over a year ago, I decided to develop communities with structure and a modern touch. The idea soon exceeded my initial vision. Fast forward, as I was mobilizing like minded Liberians and lovers of the African continent, I received an email from one of my consistent watchers. As I recently referenced, she's one of my biggest fans. She said, of course, thank you. She recommended a lady to me, a person who was actually really curious about community development efforts. So I acknowledged the email and I spoke to the lady you will see in this video.
Hello, this is Chris, and I'm here with this beautiful.
Before I continue, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear good. Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
She's from America, and her first time visiting Liberia. So I'm gonna ask her some few questions and things like that, and hope you guys enjoy it. So how you doing? I'm okay. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Natasha Nelson from United States.
Which state are you from?
Texas.
Oh, Texas. Wow. All right. So, welcome to Liberia. All right. So, tell me now, how's your experience so far?
It's been wonderful. The people are hospitable, very kind. The country itself is very beautiful. I'm very impressed. I'm in love with the country, and that's why I have decided to invest in property and build.
So what made you to come to Liberia?
Actually, it was through a coworker, Avita Grove, to be exact. She introduced me to Emma, and when I spoke to Emma convinced me. Very persuasive in her delivery of her vision of building a community, a thriving community, and I wanted to be a part of it, and so that's why I'm here.
Okay. So, so far, have you faced any challenges? Have you faced any challenges so far? In a sense, in Texas, the difference between Texas and Liberia?
Well, absolutely stress. So here, I am free. I don't know the other way to describe it. It's just a free feeling. Back in the States, unfortunately, we face a lot of stressful times. But definitely this is a place I would like to come and hopefully retire.
Right. So what would you tell others in America, about Liberia?
Well, don't be fearful. Africa is a wonderful, wonderful continent to visit, particularly Liberia, where you want to come to first. But I strongly encourage my people, Black Americans, to come visit Liberia. They would be thoroughly impressed.
So, have you tried any Liberian cuisine yet? Like any Liberian food?
Well, I honestly have not yet, but tonight I will try the palava.
The palava sauce.
Or sauce, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
palava sauce, but with the pounded yam.
Oh.
She understood the vision and asked all appropriate questions. She proceeded to express her interest in signing up for the development through land purchase. She paid for the road and now contributed towards the water project. As far as pay for the road, she contributed to the road development project. Several months later, she reached out to me about her trip to Liberia. I listened to her as she was telling me that a fellow Liberian discouraged her from visiting. But as you guys know, I am not in the business for negativity. So I explained to Tasha what she needed to make her trip successful as far as documentation and preparation. She booked her hotel and then I set her up with a vehicle and other things in order to ensure her stay will go well. Let's hear from the horse's mouth.
Okay. My next question: have you met other Americans since you've been here?
Actually, I met one, Miss Yvonne, and I'm actually about to have lunch with her soon. She's from the state of Florida.
You know that's at Bomani, right?
To know each other, and we formed a bond really quick.
Okay.
Where?
So the palava
You know where that's
sauce
at,
you
right?
said you had
No,
earlier.
where?
was
That's
it good?
Contagia.
Very good.
Or have
Yeah,
you tried
that's good.
other Liberian cuisine except for
I
palava
have
sauce?
not. I must be honest that I dabbled into the American cuisines as well here. But as I continue to come back to this beautiful country, I will try more dishes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Able to, but just to say that I've been to places that have
That's
arts
where
and
that's where we're
crafts.
gonna be
I've been
staying at.
downtown to what we call a trader's village back in the States, but there are multiple marketplaces in a localized area. Um, let's see, I've been to African restaurants, Liberian food,
Oh.
tasted that, had palava sauce and fufu, had fried rice and chicken. So it was all pretty good.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's
Yes.
good. You say you've been downtown
Yes.
to the market. So
Yes.
are you talking about Waterside?
Yes.
When you got to Waterside, did you purchase anything? Did you see anything
Yes,
that
I
you?
purchased material, African material to be exact, and a couple of dresses. And let's see what else. That's all I can recall for right now. Yes.
So what would you say about the Black African Americans in America, and what would you tell them about Liberia?
Well, I would tell them this is a great opportunity to step out of um, any fear that you may have or any misconceived notions that you have been told about Africa in general. And just take a leap of faith and come out here and experience it for yourself. Of course, I would have you to come to Liberia to not only see its beauty, but to meet the people here. And as I stated before, they are very kind and hospitable, and I promise you, you won't regret it.
Would you visit again?
Absolutely. I'll be here actually next year.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Okay. And thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you,
And now for
Chris.
the rest of your time in Liberia.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, guys, considering you have watched this video, I want you to find something to take away. For me, I understand that sometimes in life you have to take the risk and forget the background noise. Tasha found beauty here and intends to invest in this country. When you wonder why other countries are inviting more people in to invest, think of what attracts those people. Find positivity in every scenario and try your best to attract people. Find one positive aspect about Liberia and inspire others to visit. And in essence, they will find their own beauty in Liberia. That's all I ask. Thanks for watching and remember to always
All right, excellent, brother, excellent. That was beautiful.
You see Contagia, that place is beautiful, man.
Yeah, absolutely, family. So that's where we're staying on the Liberia journey in April next year. So perfect, so brother. Appreciate the energy. So family, people are making moves, and we're pioneering those moves. So join us. The information is right there. You know, fitted already. So link us and let's connect with you. It's late.
Yep.
And let me see if there's any more comments, or if anybody want to join in. Nope. So that's that. So here we go. Thank you for joining us. I'm gonna play us some nice closeout music. Sons of Africa.
Another powerful show. You know, another powerful show, bro. You know, I hope this message gets out there to our friends and enemies alike and whatnot. You know, and bottom line is African Americans who are going to Liberia, and I believe the African American move to Liberia is going to be the pinnacle of all the repatriation movement. I believe that. You know, because you see a system engines, people, the same thing. What she's saying is exactly how I experienced Liberia. Just beauty. The people are friendly. It's like you belong. You know, it's like you belong. You know, it's like. So therefore, there's more people going to the Liberia. You know, in a couple of years, there's going to be so many people going and everything like that. It's going to be a new experience. You know, Liberia is going to be like our Israel. You know, it's going to be like our Israel. You know, it's going to be like our Israel. So the bottom line is get with this movement, folks. We're going next year. Come with us. Get your feet wet. Take that leap of faith, you know.
There you go. Absolutely, brothers. So it is one of those nights. So brother, you take care. Always good.
All right, brother.
The journey continues.
Peace.
And there's some closeout music from Sons of Africa. And enjoy the slideshow.
Shining bright forever and